your face in the crowd, but you don't seem so far away. Nothing between us is empty space, empty space. Even when the music is loud, I'd rather be no other place. Here with you now, here with you now.
I hear the rain, and it sings to me the ballad of your name. I'm listening, and the voices echo in my dreams again. Let
something you must throw away. We can fall or we can fly. Take a leap from the other side. We can fall or we can fly. Take something you must throw away. Take my hand and we'll run.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Random Championship Series Open Division ARAM tournament for today, Friday, October the 9th. My name is Streetpole, casting alongside Denizen Wolf. How are you doing tonight, Wolf?
Fantastic. Ready to get some of these ARAMs in, lots of bloodbaths, hopefully. I like, it's been a little while, so I'm excited to be back here.
Absolutely, me as well. And we have some great prizes, of course, lined up. First place going home with 1600 RP, Triumphant Rise, and a 4-win IP boost. 1200 for second place, 800 third, and 400 for fourth. And of course, 5th through 8th place are also going home with 4-win IP boosts for everybody. So everybody going to go home with a nice prize here if you do make it to that top 8, which is not too hard to do. We do have about 16 teams or so. So win one game and you get yourself that IP boost plus some RP, hopefully, if you make it to the top 4. So the two teams we have for today's first game are the blue side, RCS Magenta, and the purple side, RCS Red. So of course, because DayRam pick's already gone into play right here, so everybody's already selected.
Yeah, right now it looks like, RCS Magenta has pretty much a full AP team, which, they do have a couple tanks there as well with the Volibear and Braum, so that could give them a little bit of an advantage, but at the same time, we do have some really good AD coming out with the Rek'Sai and the Zed over there, so you might have a little bit more diversity and a little bit better tower pushing, so it'll be interesting to see who gets ahead in the beginning, and then who's going to actually be able to make the plays when it comes to team fights.
Yeah, they definitely actually have some beefy front line. It's actually reasonably well-rounded team comps for all of them. They do, of course, have the front line on either side, like you were saying, with RCS Red on the purple side right there. They've got Rek'Sai in the front, Nautilus in the front, and Shyvana, a huge tanky front line. And the same can kind of be said for RCS Magenta as well. They've got the Volibear, the Braum up front, good CC, decent pick potential. And also with the Ezreal, the fact that they can, of course, keep him as AD, even though Ezreal does a decent amount of magic damage on top of that, having that AD carry is really, really important for this setup, because like you said, they are pretty AP heavy, and if Ezreal doesn't actually impact the game and do good AD damage, it could be devastating, because we could see RCS Red just build pure magic resistance, stack up lockets, maybe Abyssal Scepters, things like that, and really be kind of devastating against the full AP team besides the Ezreal.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe recently they put an AD ratio on Ezreal's W there, so now he actually has a little bit more reason to even build AD, even on an ARAM map. And at the same time, I do see a little more AoE coming out from RCS Magenta on the blue side, and you have a lot more single kind of assassination on RCS Red over there, but you do have a lot of really good utility with RCS Red. I mean, you have Nautilus, really great peel, as well as with Shyvana, and then you also have the shields and the speed boost coming out from Karma as well, so it'll be interesting to see if they're able to utilize that to kind of counter the chase that they have from RCS Magenta.
Yeah, I believe it was actually the E, I believe, of Ezreal that got the attack damage bonus, but it's still exactly the same thing like you said. It had just a little bit extra damage there, and it, of course, scales with his AD, making it a little bit more viable to stick with the AD Ezreal and not go AP. But on ARAM, of course, everything's way up in the air. There are champions that can be built either way. Sometimes you will see odd champions being built with AD strictly based on the team's needs and things like that. But what you were saying, I agree with entirely. On the side of RCS Red right here, really the main difference I'm kind of finding between the two front lines is the ways to engage. Rek'Sai, Nautilus, and Shyvana all can really be the engage for their team, where it's kind of up to Volibear to run in, be risky. It's up to Braum to make a good ult or maybe some good Q or something like that and engage through that way. It's going to be a little bit more tricky for blue side, RCS Magenta there, to actually decide when they do want to fight, and it's going to be a little bit more at the discretion of RCS Red on the purple side, whether they want to engage or whether they want to just back off, because like you said, they have good poke as well from that Karma. Rek'Sai can just shoot out, I believe, the Qs from the tunnel and stuff like that, and it's always dangerous when you've got a Shyvana and a Nautilus that can jump on you at any second.
Yeah, it's really also nice to see how even it is with their poke as well. I mean, you have Karma, Zed, even Shyvana's E coming out, Rek'Sai's Q, while he's burrowed coming out with some decent poke, but you also have pretty much everyone besides Volibear on the other side, RCS Magenta, able to poke out a little bit. So it's basically going to be whoever can get the good initiate going on, and then it'll be decided on whoever can get their good utility CC out to actually win the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a great match here. I'm really, really excited to see if there's going to be some fun snowball plays, because, of course, many patches ago, ARAM added that snowball summoner spell, so it really kind of opens up a lot of champions. Like I was talking about before, even though the side of RCS Magenta doesn't have that many ways to engage, the fact that Volibear, even though they only have one person with the snowball here, Volibear has that snowball, it allows him to gap close, which is something that is not in Volibear's kit, which is a main kind of weakness in Volibear's kit, and why you don't see him played that much, because he doesn't have that engage, that gap close. He just has to run straight at your face. But if you can use the snowball, hit someone, and then jump right to them like Lee Sin's Q, it's really devastating. Can be a really strong engage, especially onto the backline squishies like that Karma, like that Zed on the side of RCS Red. So look to see Volibear try and get some snowball engages off for the side of Magenta.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually do really like how you mentioned they only have one person Volibear with it. I do really like that Braum, instead of going with the snowball, went exhaust, especially with Zed on the other team there, because Zed's going to be a big player to try and take out Ezreal, even Brand, get rid of some of their really good poke damage. So that's going to help him stay back, peel for their ADCs and their main damage, especially when they want to win the fight and push a tower afterwards, because Ezreal is going to be a big key there to help push towers after the fight.
Yeah, I completely agree. It really is going to be for RCS Magenta to kind of stall out the game as long, not the game, excuse me, the fight as long as they can, and keep Ezreal alive, keep Brand alive, and even Vladimir alive as well. Because if they can keep the squishy backline alive, they will do a large amount of damage. Because Zed is primarily kind of a one and done damage source. They don't really have that much kind of burst beside the Zed. So like you said, the exhaust from Braum is going to be great for when Zed does finally get that ult at level 6 and goes in. It's going to be a lot easier to pop the exhaust and then maybe make a play on Zed or just force him back out. And of course on ARAM, because you can't just go back to base and heal up, getting any sort of damage or stopping any sort of engage like that can pay really big dividends and have a large domino effect later into the game because they can't heal back up.
Yeah, and like you said, that's a great thing, but it's going to be both sides that are just going to want to snowball their champions out there. You're going to want Zed to get a really good snowball, or maybe Ezreal and Brand, you know, some really high late game damage coming out to try and get the kills and all the gold pushed over to them so they can get all their items. And looking at the items here, they went for a lot of really just base stat increases. You see a lot of ruby crystals. You do see one tier, the goddess, coming out from Ezreal. Definitely a good pick. Get one of those investment items, so we'll see how that's going to work out for him a little later.
Yeah, good call on that Ezreal there. Like we said, Ezreal is going to be building AD here, but getting the tier early allows him to just spam spells, which at the beginning of the ARAM like this, in this 5-man lane phase, that's exactly what you want to do. Ezreal is one of the best champions in the game in ARAM in this mode right here, where you're just throwing out Qs. Having that tier, not only are you able to stack it from the very beginning of the game, but it should give you kind of limitless fires of that Q, throw it off on cooldown, get that good poke in. It's all about that poke early, but like you were saying, a lot of kind of early game, a lot of Doran's items and things like that for people, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. I really would recommend going for more investment items to kind of scale up later in the game. I do really like the horns though, coming out from both Shyvana as well as of course Volibear on his side as well. The Guardian's horn is extremely strong, especially for those tanks that have no real gap close. Having Shyvana's ability to not only make herself more tanky but speed her team up, same thing for Volibear, is super helpful, especially early in the game like this when it's very hard to walk up without getting poked.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, even though Volibear does have that extra speed boost on his little charge there, that definitely gives him that extra advantage to really just pick out that one person, especially for Braum. Oh, you have the hook coming in.
There's the engage. Nautilus goes in, and in comes Shyvana as well. Flash from Rek'Sai to stay alive. Flash from Volibear as well. His passive should keep him alive. Shyvana flashing out as well. Everybody at low HP. There's the snowball follow-up by Zed, but he backs out immediately. And it looks like it's going to be 0 for 0, but tons of summoner spells burnt, lots of flashes, and it looks like actually the side of RCS Magenta came out slightly ahead strictly based on their cooldowns that were used. I feel like it was a little bit more kind of useful from the Rek'Sai as well as the Shyvana burning their flashes right there. They have no real engage after that now, so it's going to be a lot easier to poke them down for the blue side.
Yeah, they did lose a little bit of kill potential as well with Rek'Sai burning that Ignite a little bit early there. And like I said, we only really lost Volibear's cooldowns there, but we did lose one of Brand's as well. It's one of those, especially with the wave clear that they have with Brand and Vlad, now they're going to be able to push back a little bit. But it was really good focus on either side. You saw Shyvana going in, really taking a lot of the damage, and then backing out and letting her team really get a lot of damage. As you see, Navy on Vladimir is pretty low. We see a bunch of them actually half health right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love Volibear's passive, especially for ARAM like this, because we saw Volibear was within a sliver of dying, and now he's back up past half HP, strictly just based off of his passive, and that will, of course, reset in the near future, and he'll have that back to regen himself in case he gets into those fights. But like you were saying, Rek'Sai burned the Ignite to try and kill that Volibear through the passive to half that regen on his healing right there, but it was just barely not enough. Ends up being a summoner spell burnt for a passive, and it's more useful to burn that passive than it is the summoner spell. Way longer cooldown on the summoner.
I definitely think it's interesting to see how we have RCS Red actually really out pushing here. We do have pretty good wave clear from Vlad and Brand, even a little bit from Ezreal, but at the same time you can tell that they're very mana hungry right now, and they're losing it, especially now that we have the cooldown from Brand down. They don't have that available mana, but we have Karma really doing a lot of wave clearing over here with you know, her mana regen item, and that's making it easy. And here comes the engage.
In goes Nautilus, getting flipped back by Volibear. He is going to go down, but Braum trades his life as well. Volibear will go down. Passive was up, but it goes down as well. And they get the kill on top of that. Ezreal taking down Zed right there to make it a 2 for 2. Vladimir almost dead on top of that, but he should be able to sustain back up over time. Great trade, pretty even for both teams.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of really good hooks here by Nautilus. DC Sunbear there is actually really waiting. You can tell he hasn't been throwing out very many hooks, but at the same time, everyone he has thrown out has gotten them a really good engage, and then Shyvana's immediately following up and giving them that really good front line to basically let Zed and Karma take almost no damage. They did a really good job communicating that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job. And then, of course, everybody that dies here is going to be able to buy and come back, but it's early enough in the game that there's not going to be anything that substantial that they came back with. So it really shouldn't be that big of a deal that people have more items than some in the game currently. It still should be really pretty even in fights right now, but they are about to hit level 6 in the very near future, and I expect the team fight to break out pretty much as soon as one side hits 6.
Yeah, you do still see a little bit more of just base items coming out. You know, more ruby crystals. You see one of the long swords coming out as well. Here's another hook.
Yeah, there's the hook onto Brand right there. Volibear flipping over Nautilus, which is taking so much damage right there. Shyvana goes in with a snowball, but backs out immediately after the Braum passive goes on her. Snowball landing on Ezreal, but I believe it's not going to be followed up by Zed. Thinks about it, but just backs away. And Vladimir, like I was saying, healing himself back up with that sustain built into his kit. Vladimir, great champion for ARAM.
Yeah, definitely. Even with just the amplifying tomes and not really getting that Hextech revolver, and he doesn't have quite the sustain yet to be able with his E, but at the same time, it's enough to keep him in the game, and that was a really great Ezreal ult.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only did it hit multiple members of RCS Red, but sniping off Shyvana there, and she is going to come back with some items. But again, like I said, it's early enough in the game that getting kills right now is actually a perfect time because people cannot come back with substantial items. There's the hook, or no, the hook, excuse me, the Braum passive, and there's the flip from Volibear. There goes the Zed ult on top of that. He does get exhausted and bumped away. There's the Braum ult on top. Zed goes down, and this is going to be a massacre. RCS Magenta picking up, I believe, 4 kills right there. 3 kills, excuse me, and they'll be able to get some good damage on this turret.
Yeah, definitely a good job by Volibear seeing that opportunity there to fling in and really get the advantage, especially because they already had people that weren't really ready for the fight yet. And now they're going to get a lot of damage on this tower.
Ult from Shyvana trying for the cleanup. There's the flash from Nautilus as well. And they're going to go down, see if they can make this happen. Ezreal trying to kite for his life. They do get the Braum passive. Braum going to go down, trying to jump to Ezreal. And Ezreal might go down on top of that. Braum passive has been impacted on Nautilus. But here comes the chase from Shyvana, still in dragon mode, but she turns away, gets too close to the turret. And Ezreal and Vlad are going to live.
It was a little unfortunate. Zed did use his ult on the Vladimir. Wasn't quite enough to kill him. You can see Vlad's doing a really great job. Oh, here's the snowball.
Oh no! Zed goes in and actually does not get the second E off. Shyvana does turret dive though, but I believe Ezreal will get the kill. He actually eased into the bush. Very ballsy by Ezreal, but he needed the vision right there. And is able to get the kill. As you're mentioning, maybe the AD scaling on his E played a part right there and hopefully helped kill Shyvana. But really good play. Shyvana being a little over-aggressive, but she does have that Spectre's Cowl. Now here comes Volibear though. He's going in for the engage, has to turn around though, and that's exactly what I was talking about before. He has no real way to actually force an engage unless he has that snowball, which was on cooldown there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell RCS Magenta right now is really getting a little bit ahead here. Even though it's only 2 kills, you see 3 of them are going to Ezreal. He has not died yet, just stacking up those tier stacks, you know, spamming all of his abilities. And he's done a really great job peeling for himself and having Volibear and Braum there peeling for him. As we saw, the exhaust did go out on Zed earlier, but it'll be up here in another minute or so. So we'll probably be ready for when they decide to fight again.
Yeah, and Zed's, like you said, of course, because Zed's ult comes up faster than the exhaust, he does have a timing window right now where he can ult without that exhaust to kind of negatively impact him there on the ult. So if he can make that happen in the next minute or so, they could take advantage of this. But right now, the side of RCS Magenta is just going in. They pop the horn. Nautilus goes in by himself. He gets flipped back. There's Rek'Sai coming in. Good knock-up on 3 men, but there's the ultimate as well. Ezreal taking down Nautilus in the back right there. Zed is going to get hit by the Braum passive. He is going to go down, unfortunately, and the rest of his team fails for their lives. And it looks like RCS Magenta still in good control of these team fights.
Yeah, you can tell the peeling is doing really well. You saw Zed in the back line there, and immediately when he was out there on his own after Nautilus died, they were able to focus him, as well as the front line for RCS Magenta was able to zone out Shyvana, Karma, and everyone from Ezreal and Vlad. So they've been doing a really good job keeping those distances between their front line and their back line.
Oh, and here goes Vlad. He looks like he was going after Karma there, but then decided against it. But in comes Shyvana. She's going to get flipped over by Volibear. Underneath the turret, Volley flashes away, just barely alive. Can he survive? He does with a sliver of health. Braum ultimate giving some help right there, but Navy is going to go down with Braum as well, and this might be a cleanup right now for RCS Red. There's the flash from Rek'Sai. He goes in, does get the double kill for Nautilus, and they are going to get Ezreal, are they? Yes, they do. There's the flash, and this will be a kill on Ezreal. They're going to try and dive the Brand as well. Excuse me, Nautilus will go down for this, but Zed should pick up the kill. He does, and he'll be able to get out safely. They have a wave for some good damage on the turret as well.
Yeah, that was definitely great timing by RCS Red, coming back, realizing that Magenta was being a little bit too aggressive. They did want to get that damage on the turret, but at the same time, the wave timing was perfect for RCS Red for them to go back in, clean up. Wow, Zed almost dying to the tower there, but now they're able to come back, get some damage on their own, but we'll see if they get a clean up here.
And I actually wonder if he should have died to that turret there to get the execute potentially. There's a beautiful ultimate from Ezreal. He snipes Zed regardless at the end. I would have risked the execute there, and even if you do get it, it's better than potentially just dying later because you're so low on HP, but Braum and Volley cannot chase up to Rek'Sai tunnels away. But like I was saying right there, you really just want to, if you are about to die to turret right there, just take the chance and just pray that it was long enough to get the execute, because even if you escape with that sliver of HP, you're probably just going to go down in a few seconds anyways.
Yeah, you're right, especially with the team that Magenta has, being able to have those longer range snipes with the Ezreal and even Brand going on, anything that'll catch you out. Now they get the turret and they're going in.
Great job by Volibear to go in right as the turret died. Rek'Sai barely, oh no, there's the Brand ultimate passing over to Rek'Sai, and he does go down. The exhaust on Zed, but it is a second after, although he goes back to his shadow, and there's just too many of the blue side right there. There's the flip from Volibear on top of that. Volibear doing a great job of flipping people in the fight. Ezreal takes out Karma from the back as well. Ezreal's super focused, and oh my goodness, Nautilus hooked the turret. He had a perfect lineup for Ezreal right there, but he didn't see the turret right in front of him, and instead hooked point blank, and that's actually going to be really bad because Ezreal was out of position there. That was their small chance, and Shyvana might go down here. There's Volibear chasing as well. The ultimate from Ezreal. No, it does not do enough damage. There is so much magic resistance coming up from Shyvana. She stays alive. No, there it is. Oh my goodness, and I get the turret as well. Here's another fight. Braum passive going in onto Zed. Zed's going to go down. Rek'Sai is caught out of position now, and will he be able to survive? There's Ezreal going forward. Everybody's so low in Magenta right now. Braum going forward to block the hook. Can they get enough damage on it? Karma getting low, but they still should be able to kill them down here. There's the ultimate coming out from Nautilus. Ezreal kiting for his life with his buddy Brand, but they are too low right now. They should go down. Brand actually being left alone for the time being. There we go. Now he's going to go down. And it looks like Ezreal might survive for the time being. Gets that heal. There's the dodge on the hook. He can kill him now that he dodged that hook, but there's the stun from the passive. Karma coming in. The E from Ezreal. Can he escape this much? Nautilus will go down inside of the minions. Karma does not back him up, and Ezreal survives right now. 9-1-10 for Ezreal. 100% kill participation, only backed one time so far.
Yeah, you can tell that Nautilus really wanted that Ezreal. A little bit unfortunate for the cat's meow there on Karma, not really going in, but RCS Magenta has done a really great job to use their tankiness and their CC to just be super aggressive. Even Volibear right now, you see him trying to go in, even though it's 3v4 right now. They have that advantage with Manamune almost full stack from Ezreal and the Sheen. So you have a lot of damage going out, and he's doing a really good job at peeling himself.
And now that both of these turrets are down for RCS Red, Volibear is alone. Oh my goodness, Zed goes into the shadow. No, Zed! Misclick by Zed, I believe, and Zed unfortunately goes down to the entire team right there. But like I was saying, there's so much more lane to actually chase. So Volibear, now that he has those turrets down, it really opens up the potential a lot more. And of course, those snowballs travel a very long way. So that, plus of course, is just ability to chase and run faster than the majority of people here. Could pay dividends.
Yeah, and they keep coming in. All they're doing is being super aggressive, RCS Magenta here, and you see, a couple misclicks. You see RCS Reds being a little desperate. Here's the flip.
And they go in, they're going to be able to get a good damage on the inhibitor. It does go down. That's really what they want from that big Brand ult damage. Down goes Rek'Sai. In comes Shyvana, but she's forced to turn immediately. The ult from Ezreal really not doing too much damage. They are actually trading reasonably evenly. Down goes Volibear, Shyvana, as well as Nautilus. Zed trying to make something happen in the middle, but he gets stunned up. Braum actually able to stay alive with a sliver of health using his shield properly right there, and it ends up being a 1-for-4 trade for RCS Magenta plus the inhibitor that they got the kill.
Yeah, you can tell RCS Magenta pretty much has the huge advantage here. Now that they're going to have super minions coming in, they have enough peel, they have enough long-range damage to be able to just take down, siege these towers. And hopefully, even though Volibear is pretty... Oh, sorry, not Volibear, Braum is pretty low there, they still have enough tankiness from Volibear to be able to handle these fights, especially with Karma this low.
Yeah, and Volibear has actually decided to go for Triforce, so instead of going for pure tank right there, he's going for a little bit of damage on top of that. And then goes, oh my goodness, Brand, is going to go down. Nautilus with the beautiful CC on top of him gets flipped back by Volibear, but he's going to just eat damage. He's more than happy to die for his team right there. They're going to continue the chase. Braum in the front line is going to go down. We'll see if God can make something happen there, but he's really not able to do it. Unfortunately, does not have the ultimate from Volibear up right now, which is what you need in those teamfights. Beautiful snipe from Ezreal, and they're going to be able to turn it now with that Q. They will be able to turn and chase down Zed and Shyvana right here with super minions flowing as well. Ezreal, Volibear, and Vladimir are going to have a good time pushing in for the next 20 seconds.
I love that Q snipe there. You can tell, the team, you could see him splitting up and then Karma just opening up for that Q right in the face.
And there's the flip from Volibear with a good chase, but Volley might go down. He does. Zed picking up the kill right there. Even though Ezreal landed some good damage, a little bit over-aggression from Volibear, especially considering there was so many members of the team coming back up right now. Here comes Nautilus trying to make something happen. The pool from Vladimir coming out. Good job waiting on the hook. Really good patience coming out from Sunbear. And Navy will go down, shut down by Nautilus, and he's going to continue to chase right now. There's the flash to land the passive stun. Ezreal is going to go down. Beautiful flash from the most important member of RCS Magenta does go down. But oh my goodness, there's so much damage now coming out from Braum and Brand, and they're actually able to hold on to this. Braum taking so much damage, currently lands the good Q onto Zed. That's the exact target you want, but Zed W's over to the health, excuse me, pops the shield. There's the ultimate. Oh my goodness, the passive under turret. He might go down. Will he? Brand with the damage. There's the ultimate from Braum as well. Braum might go down. Oh, he gets the kill on Nautilus. The ult. What great work from Braum and Brand together. The B-boys making it happen, and here comes Volibear for the chase.
RCS Magenta is just doing a great job. You can tell they're kiting really well. You can tell they're using that odd, attack move going on. You have Braum, who is just waiting for the good cues. Like you said, he got the one on Zed that ended up working for a stun under turret with the passive. I mean, they're communicating really well, or their synergy is just fantastic, especially with the damage coming out from Brand. And now it's still good for them because they have the inhibitor down. They could be aggressive. They can push. They have those super minions where RCS Red cannot push back and get a tower, even if they all die. So this is really good play and good strategy by RCS Magenta.
Yeah, very true. Exactly like you said. Even if they do pull off a team fight right here, the minion waves are pushed up too far. They can't actually grab objectives after that. They're going to have to just stall as long as they can. Just keep pushing waves and hope that the game gets later, because the later the game goes, the easier you can turn around. But here comes Nautilus making a play, going in. Braum is super low HP. Volibear in the backline pops the ultimate. Zed going in the backline as well. He's diving the Brand. Brand might go down right here. He does. DC Sunbear picking up the kill, but the Brand ult doing huge AoE damage. Nautilus in the front line, as well as Vladimir on the front line on the opposite side. He is going to go down. Little Elf picking up the kill, goes in on the Q, and this is actually going to be a good fight for RCS Red. They can push right here, right now. Everybody's still alive, even though they're ticking red with a lot of guys. Ezreal, the one member you would want alive if you're RCS Magenta, though, because once his ult comes back up, he can probably grab maybe one or two, and exactly right there, picks up the Nautilus right now. And here is pretty much the situation. Look at that. Ezreal can make a play right now. He can actually potentially get a penta right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now that the ult's up, here it is. Oh, it only hits Zed, unfortunately. But he still has enough damage and the peel for himself to be able to kill all these people.
Oh, he missed the Q. Oh, if he had hit that Q, it might have been over there. He's got the E to get away. The knockup from Rek'Sai, beautiful communication. He is going to go down, and only for a trade of one person. Extremely well done right there to jump forward and get that knockup there. Even though Rek'Sai gave up his life for that, the knockup from Rek'Sai was what allowed Ezreal to go down and not actually be able to flash away after the initial E. So well played, but there comes Volibear. He flashes forward. The shadow from Zed, though, isn't going to be enough. No, Volibear is just too darn tanky. He goes in, gets snared by Karma, but like I was saying, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Volibear continues to chase. There's the hook from Nautilus, but I don't know if he wants to engage on this. His team is not really there for him. RCS Magenta going for the chase again. Here comes Volibear making the run. Flips over Little Green Elf. Is he going to be able to get out in time? Another chain from Karma, and oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has to back off.
Yeah, that put them in a little bit of an awkward position now that they had 3 of their members really low, and since Zed got caught out, they had to decide whether to die or really push. I probably think they should have tried to execute themselves early while they were pushing.
Yeah, that might have been a good idea, exactly, to try and get your health bars back up, your mana back up, and of course just buy, because you've earned so much gold from those last few team fights as well. Their inhibitor just respawning right now, but it looks like RCS Magenta might just try and take it without really getting involved in a team fight here.
Yeah, you can tell, I mean, with that last fight, RCS Red is actually starting to come back, and they know that they can win a fight if they're even. So they need to be able to have full health bars, having at least an even matchup when it comes to the lane fighting.
Whoa! Shyvana going in on the snowball, trying to ult out, but she was at so low HP. She goes down there. Unfortunately, one person dying immediately off the bat. Brand taking a lot of damage from Zed, but Karma is going to go down. Rek'Sai in the front line getting kited by Ezreal. The ultimate will make it happen, and then it's going to be a clean ace for RCS Magenta. It's going to be the inhibitor, and it could possibly be the game as well. They have the minions right now. Can they end this?
Yeah, they have the minions, like you said, and at least 10 seconds for Shyvana. With the damage from Ezreal and everything, it looks like they do have enough to be able to finish out this game. There's no way Shyvana can zone all of them out before that this is over. So definitely great job by RCS Magenta. They played a really good, aggressive, sound game.
Yeah, absolutely. We're able to finish it out. 18 minutes right here. Double Triforce. They had a Triforce coming out for Ezreal as well as Volibear right there, making things happen. Good front line. Really good job in the back line. Got to give the MVP award over to, of course, Ezreal, making things happen. Of course, right there we showed when everybody on his team died and he was trying to make those plays 1v5. Even though it didn't work out, it was enough to actually stall the team, to let his team come back, and all of those things kind of domino effect. So excellent play from RCS Magenta. RCS Red didn't play bad at all, though. But unfortunately for them, Magenta the better team today, and they're going to be moving on into the next round.
Yeah,
So
definitely good job by both. Like you said, RCS Red did play a great game, but at the same time, they just had a disadvantage. They couldn't come over once the initial team fights happened.
yeah, absolutely. So they'll be moving on to the next round here. We'll be getting to the next game here very shortly. I want to remind you all that we are the Random Championship Series. Our website is randomcs.com. You can go to esportsrcs.com. Our Facebook page is esportsrcs, so please give us a like on there, facebook.com/esportsrcs. We're also on Twitter at esportsrcs, so a follow on there would be appreciated. And of course, you can follow us on twitch.tv/Random Championship Series, or you can go to the shorter link, twitch.esportsrcs.com. They'll take you both to the same Twitch page, and you can watch all of our tournaments upcoming and all that good stuff, which we do have a special October 10th Poro Olympics for our partnered Twitch streamer, Joanne of Arc. You can find out more about JoJo and her Poro Olympics tournaments and stuff on our website. Go to randomcs.com to the register tab and then click on League of Legends. We also have our weekly ARAM tournaments. Every Friday right now, we will be doing ARAM tournaments exactly like we're doing right now. So please stay focused, excuse me. Stay focused, guys. Keep listening to my voice.
Watch it, focus.
Just stay on the ball. Keep going to randomcs.com. We have constant updates. They are, like I said, every Friday we have these tournaments here for ARAM. So it's just continuously going, so please join us. randomcs.com. They're all free to enter with a bunch of RP prizes, all that kind of cool stuff. We'll be jumping into the next match here very shortly. My name is Streetball, casting alongside Denizen Wolf. We will be right back, guys.
Feel so free, just believe we can come alive. We're so far from the ground, but I'm not looking down. Feel the warmth of the breeze rushing over me. Now we're soaring high, reach and touch the sky.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Random Championship Series Open Division ARAM Tournament. Today is Friday, October the 9th. My name is Streetbull, casting alongside Dennis and Wolf, and we are in our second round right now of our ARAM tournament, like I just mentioned. We just have the team we saw last time. I've switched sides now. Our previous red side, RCS Magenta, is now on the purple side, and our new team, RCS Green, is on the blue side. So it looks like we got a decent amount of tanks again for RCS Magenta, and a little bit less of a split. This time they're a little bit AD stacked, actually.
Yeah, kind of interesting. We do see pretty much almost all AP on RCS Green side, and then RCS Magenta has mostly AD, except for of course, Leona, but that's not going to matter unless she builds some weird stuff like Sheen.
So, AP Leona, you never know.
Yeah, hey, it can happen. I've seen it work, but
yeah.
See, I mean, I've never actually, as far as when we've done these before, I've never seen a total split from like AD versus AP. So it'll be interesting to see, obviously, some of the advantages for AD being they'll have better tower pushing, but at the same time, they don't exactly have the team for wave clear, while you see RCS Green has a much better wave clear team and a little bit more AoE damage. So it'll be interesting to see how they use those advantages to get against each other.
Yeah, very true. I believe RCS Magenta is going to have to rely a lot on engage. They're going to have some good poke from the side of RCS Green with Ari as well as Karma. They got good shields, decent pick potential as well. Eve's going to be a little bit tricky to play, but her Q does have a decent amount of range, so she can clear waves with that and stuff like that. And with, of course, the Snowball, like we keep talking about, which I believe is not actually called Snowball. It's called Mark and Dash, I believe, is what the actual summoner spell is called. But I'm going to keep calling it Snowball because it looks like a damn snowball, so it's a snowball. But yeah, for a champion like Eve that has no actual gap close, like I keep talking about, the Snowball really opens up a lot of opportunities in the game. So it really kind of made ARAM a lot better mode, I feel, once they added that Snowball. It opens up a lot of champions. Garen's in the same boat as that as well, where before he'd have to rely a lot on Leona to actually be the one to engage, possibly even Gnar. Now Garen can land a snowball on someone and be the one to jump right up in the mix, and he can be the one to call the engages.
Yeah, definitely. I do think it's a little bit odd to see that Evelynn and Rek'Sai, both of their main engage and frontline, don't have flash or any means of escape. They're planning on, when they engage, they're going to go ham. And that might be an issue, especially with the fact that you see that RCS Magenta on purple side has a ton of CC. I mean, Leona by itself, ton of CC, and then if you have a good Gnar ult coming out, it's going to be hard for them to really get out of that. So RCS Green's going to have to be really careful, probably just use their poking in the early stages and try and poke them down so that they have the advantage in the team fight. But other than that, it's going to be really difficult for them to get out of all that CC.
Yeah, very true. Like you said, I don't mind the exhaust for Evelynn because then, of course, it allows her not only to slow the person down, make them do less damage, but you can just land her Qs repeatedly and just walk beside them as they try and run away with that exhaust. So it's not that bad, but the Ignite on Rek'Sai I'm a little bit hesitant about. Like you said, I really would have liked to see the Flash because now Rek'Sai can't do the Flash knockup play that really makes Rek'Sai. Like that is
definitely.
Although Rek'Sai's kit is great and Rek'Sai is a great champion and she really covers a lot of bases, kind of good jack of all trades sort of thing, the ability to Flash knock up an entire team is absolutely devastating and can possibly single-handedly turn a team fight around. So to kind of not have that flash jump is a little bit tricky, but of course the Snowball can make up for that. The thing I'm really interested to see though is if Kael's ultimates can actually save those squishies from the hard engage from the purple side RCS Magenta, because if someone gets Leona ulted, like you said, Gnar follows up on top of that, Kha'Zix can jump on top of that, Vayne has good follow-up, Garen can silence you so you can't jump away or anything like that, or shield or whatever the case may be. It's really, really tricky to actually escape if purple side does get a good engage, so Kael can really kind of facilitate a lot of that, as well as of course these shields from Karma as well.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely think, like you said, Kael is going to be a huge deciding factor for RCS Green, as well as Ari. Ari's going to be a huge damage. You know, she has a lot of mobility to kind of counter some of that CC. So definitely we're going to have to see Ari and Kael trying to make some plays, as well as seeing Vayne and Leona probably being the two main playmakers over on purple side with RCS Magenta. I mean, if they can get good lockdown and you see a lot of the skill shots for RCS Green are skill shots, it's not just point and click. So if you have someone mobile like Vayne, might be able to dodge out of a lot of damage. So we'll hopefully see some really interesting plays, kind of like we saw the Ezreal with last game. Really, really interesting to see that kind of playmaking and kiting.
Yeah, very true. I really think it's going to kind of come down to if Arceus Magenta can kill someone immediately, they should win the fight. If they can engage and drop someone right away, resets from Kha'Zix, Vayne can just go ham on people from there. But if they don't kill the person initially, let's say they all Leona ult, they Kha'Zix jump in, Gnar ult, whatever the case may be, and that person gets Kael shielded, then it's going to be a lot more tricky to actually get Vayne involved in the game as well as Kha'Zix. But if they can actually be the aggressors and kind of snowball the fight from there, they can actually really clean up fights extremely fast with the resets from Kha'Zix. Vayne Vayne is just so good when playing aggressive, but when playing back, Kha'Zix and Vayne are not very good at all if you're actually being forced to try and kite backwards. If you can chase, they're devastating, but running away is not very strong. So like you said, it's really going to come down to that Kayle ultimate, and if Ahri can ult away, possibly land a good kind of counter charm, if Karma can shield people safely, I'm kind of expecting for Rek'Sai to almost do some counter engage knockups, actually. Let them come to him, and then he knocks up the people that are trying to attack his team rather than him being the engage, or excuse me, she being the engage, or her being the engage. Yeah, so I'm really interested to see how Rek'Sai actually plays this game without that flash. Can't do too many engages, but could play very defensively and peel for those squishies, which if they do, they could be really devastating in these fights.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, I think that's definitely going to be the best strategy for RCS Green, is waiting for, like you said, the counter engage for Rek'Sai and the kiting potential that Ahri and Karma and Kayle have with all their slows and everything. So that'll be hopefully they have to, of course, realize the advantages and disadvantages of what they got put into as a team. Hopefully that's what we love to see here, if they can utilize that. And it'll also depend on what they decide to build in the beginning here. As we saw last game, there was a lot of just base stats going on, but I know you and me personally love those investment items going for the late game, because you never know. Once you get later in the game, we saw RCS Red last time actually coming back in the team fights, and it's definitely, itemization is really huge in ARAM, and I don't think a lot of people focus on it as much as they really should.
You're absolutely right, just simply because there's a lot less kind of data, there's a lot less information to go off of. You can't just go and look up ARAM builds that actually cover things and are like, oh yeah, this is what I'll build every single time, it'll cover, where you can go on websites like probuilds.net and actually, shout out to ProBuilds, TSM, give me a sponsor. But yeah, no, it's great because you can actually look up, oh, this is what all the pros are building. You don't see pros play ARAM games, and you can't be like, okay, well, this is what's strong right now, I'm going to copy that. You just have to kind of go, what do I think is good right now? Like, for example, Karma opted for the needlessly large rod and some pots. Maybe that's better for her. Maybe she just wants to go for that pure burst. Personally, for me, like we were talking about, I'm going for more investment. If I'm Karma, I'm picking up a tier, maybe a catalyst or something like that. You'll see our resident kind of favorites in our ARAM tournaments, all mid, all modes. They're extremely strong and very knowledgeable about ARAM because they play that mode a lot. And you'll see they'll start with a lot of catalysts, a lot of tiers, a lot of things that will pay dividends later in the game as opposed to actually that burst initially. Like I was talking about in the last game, when you get kills very early in the game, it's not that big of a deal. You don't get that much money, you can't really back and spend that money, and even if you do, you're not really getting that many items that early. But if you can stay out on the map longer and actually stack up that gold, because your gold piles up really fast on ARAM, way faster than on Summoner's Rift, you'll actually be able to get a lot of items a lot quicker if you can just kind of stall for a bit at the beginning and then come back with a big item spike, a big chunk of item, instead of continuously coming back with bits and pieces. If you can come back with that big item spike, you can really make things happen and start to take objectives.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I mean, like you said, the kills in the beginning, not a big deal, especially like you mentioned with Karma, that needlessly large rod. That takes up a lot of your beginning money, and if you don't get the kills and the gold, if you don't survive long enough for your first couple deaths to go back and buy more, then it really wasn't a good investment. So those like cheaper investment items definitely give you that potential to scale well late, to even if you do kind of a little bit bad in the beginning, it gives you that chance to continue to do better as the game progresses. So that's definitely a good thing. We do see a lot of good poke coming out here, but it's interesting to see that actually RCS Magenta is actually pushing the wave a lot better, even though they have a little bit more wave clear with RCS Green.
Yeah, I really feel like RCS Green is playing very passive right there. They didn't have Eve just yet. Randominator was actually disconnected for a little bit, so I think they were waiting until they had a full 5 to actually move up a little bit more. But they're doing the right thing by playing a little bit more safe. They can poke, but if they walk up too far, they can also get engaged on and hit pretty hard. Even though they're not at level 6, everyone's still chilling at level 3 right now at the beginning of the game. You can still team fight pretty heavily if you are kind of that engage comp, which we see from RCS Magenta. Leona jumps on someone, everybody else just dog piles on top of them. A little bit of a CC train, good damage train on top of that, and they could really not only burn some flashes, but possibly pick up a kill here early, which again, like we said though, doesn't matter too much until you can actually come back from that with full items.
Yeah, that's true, and we did see RCS Magenta last game playing a really aggressive game, even though their team comp, here it is, Garen going in.
Yeah, there's the engage from the Leona. This is exactly what we're talking about, and Ahri does get locked down. She's not even close to level 6. There's the counter knockup from Rek'Sai, so that was good, but he needs to be very careful right now. He's going to go down. XP picking up the kill. In goes Garen. He's going to go down as well. They are going to pick up the kill. Eve gets it, but Eve trades her life for that kill on top of that. Are they going to be able to pick up Kayle? No, she is able to escape with some good heals. Good job by Vayne, actually. Even though she took the turret shot there, it was the third proc, the third auto attack to get that W going, so it was totally worthwhile to eat that turret shot for the trade.
Yeah, I definitely love the fact even though we did see Garen going in, you saw Leona with the immediate follow-up with that Zenith Blade, and it just locked down 2 members immediately, and it made it so that they were able to get a lot of damage. All Vayne has to do is sit just behind Garen and Leona, and she's pretty much safe from the majority, especially the charm from Ahri, and any other CC that they could get, like from Karma as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's really annoying that silence that comes out as well. You're not able to kind of escape on top of that. Then, of course, if Leona jumps on you, her E locks you down, her Q locks you down, and then everything else just dog piles. It's so annoying, especially when people land those snowballs as well. One of my favorite things to do in ARAM is I'll snowball a person that's CC'd. So if they do flash or use their escape or whatever it is, here's the engage from Garen, though. Backing off is Ahri with the speed up from Karma. But like I was saying, you land the snowball while the person is CC'd, so if they do actually use their escape or their flash to get away, you just activate the snowball and you've kind of nullified their gap close basically, or their gap extension, I guess you could say, just by using the active on the snowball. Because it's hard to hit after they use the gap. If you throw it like the Lee Sin Q, hit it while they're stationary, and then activate it once they've used their escape, then it's easy peasy and you don't have to really gap close at all.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that in the last team fight, you see the kills went out to Vayne and Kha'Zix, which is perfect. That's exactly what they want. I mean, you have Vayne already, I mean, both Vayne and Garen, very good late scaling champs, and so at the same time, even getting these early kills, even though they don't matter as much, it's only going to help them scale and snowball later. So they already have that good advantage with the damage from Vayne. When she goes back, if they have another good team fight, she'll probably immediately be able to get Bork, and that'll be something that'll just be devastating once she gets, if she gets that before anyone on RCS Green can get a solid item built.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a great point. Those are the exact carries, the exact members of their team they want with those kills. And it's actually really important, especially considering both of those people, both Vayne and Kha'Zix, started with a bunch of non-investment items. They started with pure stat items, a bunch of Doran's items and boots, basically, which is pretty much saying, these aren't going to build in anything, but I'm going to be pretty darn strong right now. So the fact that they're actually getting kills and capitalizing on this strength window that they have right now is exactly what they need to do. If they weren't getting these kills, I'd be a little bit more worried, because you can't really build those Dorans into anything, and they're kind of just eventually will become kind of inefficient spent gold. But for the time being, they are actually quite effective if you make use of them, which they definitely are.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting to see how you saw both sides, everybody getting just base stat items. You know, you see the Sheen, you see Fiendish Codex, Needlessly Large Rod, and that's going to be, you know, now it's not paying off right now because they did lose that initial team fight. Now they're being pushed back constantly, and RCS Magenta has the ability with the ranged AD to actually get this tower down once they push it. You do have some decent poke coming out, but it's definitely not going to be enough if they play it right, and you know, their front line ends up zoning out Ahri and everyone else that they need.
Yeah, the main difference I'm seeing between these two teams right now is RCS Green is not as coordinated with their CC as RCS Magenta is. RCS Magenta seems to kind of pick one target and everyone just dogpiles them. There's the Condemn from Vayne, going to be a little bit too far away to follow though. But we saw before where Karma was trying to go in to land some poke, but they weren't actually able to land anything on top of that. Like, for example, see, Karma goes in, but she takes way too much poke in exchange, and she's going to go down right here. There's the ult from Garen. Ult from Leona as well, but that was a little bit unnecessary there at the end. But it's exactly what I'm saying is, like, Karma goes in to try and make something happen, to try and poke. There's no follow-up from the team, except until later, but they're trying to kill another person. They're splitting up their focus. If they all dogpile the poke onto one person, it actually ends up being more beneficial. And right now, RCS Magenta is really doing that very effectively. They catch someone out, and everybody focuses the same target. It's really well played.
Yeah, I think you could tell that Karma wanted to go in with that. You know, she did get that full E off and got Garen in place. Even though it was Garen, that's a chance for Kayle, Ahri to get, you know, a Q out and get some damage, at least a little more poke in. And even though Garen does have that sustain, they don't have anyone that actually heals. And so it's still enough damage. It's free damage. And so you want everything you can get. And even though they did blow the ults like Leona ult and everything, it's low enough where even when Karma comes back, they'll be fine. They'll have, you know, Leona ult back up for the next time they want a team fight, because RCS Magenta is controlling this laning phase right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And only so far Garen has been able to back. So once they are able to back, like you mentioned, Vayne should be able to pick up something pretty nice for herself and then make some plays off of that once they do grab the item spike. Because right now, like we were talking about, they're really just kind of stacking up their gold, and then eventually they'll fight and die and come back with all of the items that they've bought, with all the gold that they've earned by sitting on it and just waiting, and then they can start to make the real plays that actually progress and take out the objectives. Because right now, they're really kind of just jockeying back and forth, picking up some gold, and just waiting until the game progresses more, until they can actually find a spot where it's worth for them to die and back.
Although I do give props to Karma. I mean, the last time she died, she did run into the team when she was low, and now that you see, she's gotten pretty much all the farm, and now she has a Luden's Echo, so that was a little bit worth to go back and be able to finish out a full item like that. You see a lot of damage coming out. They have almost all of them half health on Magenta, and I'm surprised they aren't using this opportunity to really wave clear, push them up to tower, and actually get a good in-game going.
That's a very good point you make, though, because basically we saw Karma at the end there. She pretty much ran into the enemy team to die. It was definitely a on-purpose death. She kind of got poked enough. She's like, I'm low, and I have the enough gold that I need to buy my Luden's Echo. She got the spike that she wanted, so extremely well played by Karma. Like we were mentioning, the early deaths like this don't matter that much as long as you use them strategically, and Karma did just that there. Now she's back on the map, has a Luden's Echo. That poke's going to be so annoying coming from Karma, and nobody from RCS Magenta has even close to the same item strength that Karma does right now.
Yeah, and you can tell right now everyone's getting it like poked down little by little, and it's giving them that advantage. Now they're able to push back a little bit. You can see just from that Q is massive damage on Vayne, and they're not playing it well enough where RCS Green can go in and actually capitalize on the CC. Like if you land an RH arm, and here comes Garen.
Yeah, there goes Garen in with the snowball, and they actually get a perfect Leona ult onto Eve. Eve is probably going to get in. There's the KO ult. That's exactly what we were talking about before. Can she stay alive long enough for them to make a play? They're going in. In comes in comes Rek'Sai, excuse me, making the knock. That's exactly what we're talking about. This double kill for Kale. This is the perfect fight for RCS Green right there. They're making things happen. Triple kill for Kale, and they actually get everybody except for Vayne down. A 1-for-4 trade for RCS Green right there. Excellent Kale ult usage. Excellent Rek'Sai knockup. Beautifully played team fight.
Yeah, they definitely came back. Like you said, those counter initiates from Rek'Sai, you could tell he got 3 people up on that, and Ari did a really good job on her skill shots. She hit 3 people almost every time with her Q. She was able to get a charm off, get some really good CC going so that you can negate some damage, and they were able to really come back with that.
And here we go, here's the jump again, Nar coming in. They are going to get the shutdown on Kale, but Vayne might go down. She does. The ulted Q there from Karma, picking up that kill. That Luden's Echo is so annoying, not only just because it does a ton of damage, but even if you don't get hit by Karma's skill shot, if your teammate does, it bounces off them and hits you, so your teammate's not dodging skill shots can actually make you take damage, and it's so annoying to deal with, especially when Karma has those Qs off cooldown so much, and the ult is up very often to get those wide kind of circular Qs to get the second proc on those as well.
Yeah, it's definitely, and now you see Vayne coming back like we were talking about. She has that Bork on the first back, so now when she comes back into the fight, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. They're really going to have to focus on getting some form of CC on Vayne to really negate the damage, or at least getting the exhaust off when it's up. It is down right now for Evelyn, but we do see Kale has most of the kills, so she could be doing a lot of damage a little bit later if she itemizes right. You see the Stinger coming out right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that has me really worried, though, is the fact that Leona actually finished the locket. Not just the Aegis, the full locket. So they have a locket at 11 minutes right now. That is going, because everybody on the side of RCS Green is pretty much magic damage, and none of them are even remotely close to building any sort of magic penetration whatsoever. They're not even... They're not even thinking about building it just yet. So that locket is going to do so much. There's also a Hex Drinker on Gnar. They are building perfectly for this. Like you said, the item spiker, the Blade of the Rune King, is a Black Cleaver on Garen to help out with the AD stacked team. They are building perfectly right now, and I'm actually really scared for the next about 3 minutes or so from RCS Green. They just do not have the same item advantage that RCS Magenta has. They can get demolished in a team fight if they're not careful.
Yeah, I do love the Frozen Fist coming out from Evelyn as well. You do see she's going to go tanky and not really go for the AD scaling for damage, just to help out Rek'Sai a little bit, and that's good, especially when you have 2 really big tanks over on RCS Magenta's side, so she's kind of evening it out a little bit.
Oh my goodness, Ari overextending a bit. She's going to use the ult, but the silence is too much. Buster Draco picking up the kill. There's the Gnar ult. Gets Karma into the wall. Karma forced to flash away. Eve's going to take some damage, but of course the tankiness coming into play. Leona ultimate does hit Karma in the back. It's going to be enough time to kill that Rek'Sai. Forced to retreat under turret is RCS Green. This is what we were talking about before. It's just devastating with this stat advantage right now. Oh no, Eve!
Oh, there it is.
Eve's going in. Going to get jumped on. Does she have enough tankiness to stay alive? The shields from Karma are insane right now, forcing the flash out of Garen. I can't believe they stayed alive right there. Excellent job with the heals coming up from Kale, the shields from Karma, and Eve just being a monstrous tank right now. Like you said, itemizing for pure tankiness, which is exactly what you want to see. The number of times you'll see ARAM games and you're like, all you have to do to win this game is have your tank build tank. And in this situation, Eve's your tank. That's just the way you got to go. You just got to build her tanky and play to the situation. So excellent job by Randomator right there, because That would have been a dead Eve in 9 out of 10 other situations with Eve mostly builds, and there's Karma going in for a purposeful death right there, trying to get some buying going. Buster Draco forced to ult out. The Condemn, from Vayne does not actually hit into the wall. XP's Condemns have been a little bit too horizontal for my liking. I'd really like to see him try and tumble more vertically to land those more horizontal Condemns instead of the diagonal ones. Because even if you land those diagonal ones, he is hitting them into the wall. It's too far away for the team, unfortunately, in order to get them. So just be a little bit more patient with those Condemns, and maybe land the Condemn after your team's landed the CC. Use their CC to position, and then you just train in at the end and be kind of like the caboose to the CC train, basically.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, RCS Magenta has a really great team to utilize this map in general, just because they have Gnar, they're able to utilize the walls really well with the Condemn and Gnar's ult and all the CC that they have. I mean, it's perfect. They have enough CC for perfect setup for a really easy Vayne Condemns if she just takes the time, like you said, to tumble, get a little bit better positioning, and then actually have it horizontal to the wall, perpendicular to the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with Leona's ultimate, they can kind of corral people to get to the walls. Oh my goodness, there's the Gnar, the Mega Gnar Q coming out. That scared me for a second. I was like, what the heck is happening? What is that? It flew off camera right there. But good poke coming in onto Leona from before, and that's what we were talking about, is if they can train their poke together, it's really, really strong. And Karma actually died purposely a little bit ago to get her Zhonya's Hourglass, which is going to be really strong because they do have such an engage-heavy dive team. So if somebody does jump on them, not only can Karma Zhonya's, but possibly the Kayle ult can come in after that. So she has a lot of time where she takes pretty much 0 damage, basically. So it could be actually really, really beneficial to have that item spike right now for Karma. So good strategic back. We'll see if it actually pays dividends.
Yeah, you can tell Karma's really thinking about the actual long-term game of this. She's trying to get all the farm she can. Oh, there's a snowball.
And in goes the tanky Eve. They get the knockup from Rek'Sai. There's the ultimate from Leona in the back line. But Karma is able to kite. She pops the Zhonya's, Navy is going to go down in the front after burning the flash. There's Gnar jumping in. Great 3-man ult from Gnar. And that is going to be the fight right there. Excellent ultimate from Gnar. They're going to try and chase after Ahri and Karma. But like I mentioned before, the two people you would want alive in this fight, like I was saying with Ezreal in the last match, these are the two guys you want alive to wave clear, possibly poke, and possibly create a 2v4 that actually works out for them, basically.
Yeah, and you can tell that Locket is definitely helping them with all that damage reduction from the magic damage coming out, and it looks like they might even try a little bit of a dive here. They're really low, but they are able to get the tower.
That missed charm from Ahri, unfortunately, was pretty much the end right there. As soon as she missed that charm, it pretty much said, no, you can't do anything. If she hit it, they could have made something happen. There's Gnar going for the execute. No, but it's not going to happen. Ahri picks up the kill. It was a good idea from Gnar, though, to try and wait in the bush and sneak past them if he could. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay off, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go back and buy. Actually finishes off the Maw of Malmortius. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but there's the engage onto Vayne as well. Kayle taking some big damage. She might go down. She doesn't ult. She barely gets the ult off through the silence there at the end. Flashes away for safety. Leona going to land the ult. Locks down Kayle, but it's not going to be enough. She's way too far away, and Leona does not have enough AP. But oh my goodness, in goes Kha'Zix. Can he get the kill? He does with the W. Is he able to jump away in time? Gets knocked up in the bush there as well. He will go down. Not going to get the isolation bonus. Oh my god, trying to get away. Navy taking big damage. Can they land the damage onto Vayne as well? The ult from Ahri. Can she make it in time? There's the silence from Garen. She gets it with the ultimate double kill for Ahri. Is she able to get away in time? In comes Leona from the backline, but that is going to be a double kill for Ahri. Possibly a triple. No, it's a double-double. Even Ahri making things happen. They do not have the minion wave for the turret, though. It looks like Karma doesn't care.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. They were really going ham just to go and finish off the team there. I mean, and it ended up kind of not really working out for them because they did have the wave in the beginning and they had time for the rest of their team to come back so that they couldn't come back and get this tower. But now they were able to give RCS Green that free tower, and now they have the wave pushing with them to get a little more damage on tier 2.
Yeah, this is really, really smart by the side of RCS Green. They need to be very careful, though, because, of course, everyone is spawning from Magenta, so back off, pick up those health relics for your Ahri, who's a little bit lower, and just wait for those cooldowns to come back up, because once Ahri has her ult back up, then things can be a little bit more useful. But right now, with no ult on your Ahri, you do not want to fight.
Yeah, you see, like you were saying, the Maw Mortis before coming out from Gnar, and you see Hex Drinker being built over on Kha'Zix there, so he's going to be going for that as well. You can tell they're just stacking up all that magic resistance, and if they don't start building, a Void Staff, some really good magic pen over here on RCS Green, they're really going to get hurt later on.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the engage. Leona getting the slows, but no full stun. They get the condemn against the wall. Good job by Vayne landing that condemn. And even though Eve is ridiculously tanky, tons of armor, she's still going to go down. Good charm coming out from Ahri after the flash from Garen. That could have been death if she did not land that charm. They might still be able to chase her in time. Gonna get the speed up. Leona does not land the E, and actually this minion wave might go down. They will not be able to push in just yet, landing a tad of damage on Rek'Sai, but they're gonna have to just back off right now.
Yeah, even though they did have the wave, you see RCS Green still has really good wave clear. So I mean, even they were at a bit of a disadvantage, but they still can't quite siege against the team that they have. They might have to go for a dive here if they're going to actually want to get any sort of tower damage off. But at the same time, they're really going to need to poke him down a little bit first, because you do have Rek'Sai. He's still a little bit tanky, but not. I don't know if they're going to be able to actually get something in without it being too risky.
Yeah, very true. Karma's extremely low on mana though, so that's something I'd definitely be taking into account if I'm RCS Magenta right now. You're thinking Karma's doing a lot of the damage to our team and she has no mana right now. If we engage on her, and Ahri's at low HP, like they have a decent opportunity to make something happen right now. If I were them, I'd probably be sending a couple people in the bush there to chill. Even if you do get poked out, it still opens up a potential opportunity for the engage. Even if it doesn't work, there's no real reason to not try it at least.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Ahri and Kayle are really the only threats right now.
There we go.
Here's the engage. Oh!
There's the shutdown. And that is what happens when Garen presses R, is things just die. So right now we've got 25 seconds where Ahri is not alive, so we'll see if Magenta can make something happen. But again, they have no minion wave, unfortunately.
Yeah, you could tell I loved that just total damage coming out. You saw like the Kha'Zix Q coming out, all the true damage from the marks and dashes, and it's wow, that was just ridiculous. Just instant delete.
And that having the snowball really allows those plays to happen. You can't gap close like that. There's the Leona ultimate. Kha'Zix making things happen with Rek'Sai Randomier, or getting the Kayle ultimate and tons of shield. In goes Kha'Zix in the back, but he's going to be taking the turret. Kha'Zix needs to get the heck out of there. He's not going to have the reset on the jump. Gnar trying to make things happen, but nowhere near Mega Gnar right now. Oh, Leona whiffs the E. I think she was waiting for a jump from somebody else, but they're going to have to just back off for the time being. A little bit of a misplay, a little bit of over-aggression, but there, speaking of over-aggression, in comes Vayne, tumbling into the enemy team. She's going to go down. Oh no, this is so unfortunate. Leona jumping on the backline onto Kayle. Can they pick up the kill onto Randominator before they get out? Beautiful charm coming out from Ahri to pick up the kill on Leona under the turret, and they're going to clear the waves again. What a stalemate we have.
Yeah, it's, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, RCS Green's doing a really good job playing passive, even though they're not. I mean, we do see Void Staff coming out from Ahri finally, so that's definitely some really good damage, as well as Karma. They're starting to build to where they need to. They're counter building against all this MR that RCS Magenta is doing, and like I was saying earlier, RCS Magenta was taking a really risky play by actually trying to do a dive. They want to try and let them push it out like they're doing now and try and get an actual engaged team fight.
And you definitely do not want your Kha'Zix tanking the turret there. Kha'Zix does a lot of damage. He's pretty much gone. Pretty much full damage, other than, of course, the Hex Drinker maybe, and the Doran's Shield, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But pretty much what you want Kha'Zix to do is be the follow-up in the fight. Have him jump on people that have already been engaged on, already blown their spells. Somebody else is already taking the damage, and then Vayne can come in, Kha'Zix can come in, and they can clean up these fights. That's what I want to see from both of them, is clean up and not engage. You've got 3 people on your team that can cover that. You're the only 2 people on your team that can cover the cleanup.
Yeah, I thought it was a little unfortunate. We saw Garen running out of the tower aggro, and Kha'Zix, it was kind of just bad timing him going in the back, and we didn't see... Leona and Gnar were still kind of way chill back. Gnar wasn't in Mega Gnar form at the time, but we saw that Leona could have gone in and switched the tower aggro, and they definitely need to get a little bit better communication when they're going to do something as important as diving like that, especially with the peel, like the shields, and you have the ult from Kayle. They have so much damage reduction and damage mitigation that they really need to be careful who their targets are and who's taking the tower aggro.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And Gnar is kind of just, his rage bar is going down a bit, but it was pretty much close to full, and they were looking for an engage. So I think that RCS Green kind of backed off because of that. Gnar was getting a bit too close for their liking, and if they do fight with Mega Gnar, as we saw from the team fight before, they can land those ultimates. Gravedigger can land those amazing Gnar ultimates that change the entire fight. So if they allow him to do that, he's getting back up to full here. They could try and dive again, potentially.
Yeah, and this is one of the things, they're all pretty much full health, and now we have everyone with mana, so it might even be a little more risky. They do want to kind of back off a little bit. I like that. They're letting the wave come out. They want to get a good snowball initiate here. Hopefully Leona can land something, get an ult off, and then they can follow up with their CC and their snowballs. But until then, there it is.
In goes Eve immediately after Gnar's Mega Gnar wears down there. Ahri actually ulting into the middle of the fight. XP is going to get dove in the backline. He does not have nearly enough peel. But the same thing can be said for the backline of RCS Green. They might get the kill. They do on Kha'Zix. Oh my goodness. Oh no, there's the ultimate. I thought she was going to get away for a second, but the ultimate of Garen is way too much. Are they able to actually finish off the back line here of RCS Magenta? In comes Garen using the snowball to actually potentially escape. Oh my goodness, the huge damage to Kale. The ult from Rek'Sai to travel barely anywhere, but it's enough to get the knockup. So much tankiness coming from Garen. Are they able to get that damage? There's the 3-man Gnar ultimate. Flash coming from Garen. Are they going to be able to kill Ahri? She lands the Q to get some extra speed. Oh my goodness, right now is crazy. There's the kill coming out. The shutdown. Eve is barely alive. Can Gnar make this happen? No, he does not. There is enough kiting from Ahri so her front line can make it go. Wow.
Yeah. RCS Green played that perfectly. I mean, they went straight for Vayne, and I was a little bit, I was a little bit disappointed the fact that Vayne, even though she was slowed and everything, really couldn't kite away. She didn't really do damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Vayne, even though like I was mentioning before, it's very hard to actually run away and be decent as Vayne, but Vayne is really good at doing damage while she does run away. It's kind of tricky to actually get away because her tumble gets you some good range and condemns decent and stuff like that, but if you get locked down or hurt in any way, it's pretty tricky, but she's very good at doing damage while moving. You always have the tumble to kind of readjust if you ever get too close. So if you mechanic really properly on Vayne, you should almost always be doing damage while running away if possible. But it's way easier said than done, especially against a team that does have a lot of strong poke like this. I'd be playing a little bit more cautious like XD is, but that's what I'm saying is just stand so far in the back that once team fights actually do break out, if someone wants to actually dive you in the back line, they have to go so far away that they'll die to the turret, they'll die to your team's front line or back line, whatever the case may be. Just be so far back that there's no way they can reach you. Huge damage from the back pull of Ahri's Q right there. Big mistake from XD XP.
Yeah, they definitely need to make sure they use their kiting potential. Looks like Leona was trying to get a pick there. There's the ult.
There's the ult from Leona. They're going to jump in and see if they can make something happen. The W landing, but nope, there's the ulted E there from Karma. Speeding everyone up, adding the shield. Going to live to fight another day.
Yeah, we definitely need to see, I mean, I wanted to mention that last fight. I didn't see Vayne didn't really use the Bork active to help with that peeling. She needs to, make sure attack move is really important, especially for the ADC. She knows she's going to get dove, she's going to get focused. She's the biggest threat there, so she needs to make sure that she's attacking. Oh, there's a snowball.
Wow, yeah, trying to go in on that, but immediately just kind of walks away after that. Ahri's ultimate did get blown, though. So that is pretty decent. They do have a small timing window of about a minute or so before that Ahri ult comes back up, and that's very important for the ability to kite in the back line for RCS Green.
We do have more summoner spells also coming out with Magenta. You have 2 flashes still available and pretty much nothing over on RCS Green side, so they do have a little bit of an advantage as far as being able to actually chase or kite when the team fight happens, but now they're getting back into that same situation where they're trying to bring the wave up to the tower, and they're going to have to make a decision to pull back and try and initiate in the lane or dive. And as we saw from the last fight, it looks like they really need a more even playing field. They can't really dive at this point.
I was just about to say, oh my goodness, there's the charm landing onto Navy. Can he get some damage on him? Gonna be able to walk out of that Karma route there, but still takes a decent amount of damage, about half the HP of Leona gone. And yeah, his team's picking out the health relics saying, go heal up, please. That was way too much damage. But I really feel like you were saying, they can't dive right now, so RCS Magenta needs to actually stop shoving waves. They need to let RCS Green push into them so they have a giant lane to actually chase them through, because they can't turret dive right now, it's just not working. So you have to let the wave push to you to open up more kill potential for your team.
Yeah, I'm almost hoping, I mean, RCS Green does have that huge wave clearing, and so they have a very easy chance. Oh, there goes Garen trying to go in, just getting a little bit of damage off.
Again. It's a deja vu all over again right there. Garen goes to snowball, but Ahri actually ulted back in to get damage on Kha'Zix. They're going to go in on this. There's the ultimate from Leona. Kha'Zix taking huge damage, but can they get Kayle? They do get her down before the ultimate. Good Gnar ultimate gets my ADC, abuses me. Ahri just gets blown up. The 2 squishies get killed immediately. Karma, the only kind of damage to her left. Rek'Sai goes down. They're going to dive on this. Oh my goodness, look, with that extra tiny bit of space, they're able to make things happen, and then the turret dive opens up once you kill them. Excellent play from RCS Magenta. Eve trying to do all she can right now, but really, there's nothing that she can do.
Absolutely, that was perfect, and now all they have to do is, take the aggro, tell the minions come in, there they go. They're able to get the turret, they'll be able to get this inhib easy, and give them a huge lane advantage.
Wow, that was a great play from RCS Magenta right there. Really, really opened up the game. That could have gone either way right now, but instead, RCS Magenta in control. Good CC from Leona. You knew she was going to die anyways. Good condemn her to the wall, but there's the KO coming back from the grave. Can they make it happen? Randominator running away. The damage from Gnar. Oh, she misses the Q, unfortunately. But it wouldn't have killed Randominator anyways. Getting a bit of heal help there from his buddy Kayle.
Yeah, gosh, that shield was huge that Randominator got, and it made her be able to survive, but she is going to go in and actually force kill herself, which is I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, they do have the advantage with the super minions on RCS Magenta's side, but really there's not much else she could do with how low she was.
Very true. I mean, that's the thing, is you gotta strategically die, and it's one of those things where it's like there's never a good time to die, but when is the least bad time to die, basically? And right there, that's part as good as you're gonna get there for Evelynn, because of course Leona's down, so you know it's not gonna be 5v4. You know you're not putting your team at a disadvantage. All you're doing is kind of evening things out. You should survive, or should be back resurrected, excuse me, in time for the next real team fight, and you're able to go back and buy as well. So not a bad idea for Eve.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fact that her other 4 teammates were up, they could definitely take care with their wave clear all the super minions that were coming. So, I mean, even just giving them the free kill, like I said, isn't that big of a deal just for 1 kill, especially if you can go back and get another power spike. As you can tell, she actually finished her Leandri's Torment, so that'll get some really good damage coming out, and a little bit of Magic Pen too. Definitely what they need.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course we actually see the Abyssal Scepter completed for Karma as well. Even though the Abyssal Scepter is not the best item on Karma because she's more long range, I'm just so happy that someone built the Abyssal Scepter. Their entire team is AP, and the entire enemy team is stacking MR. Somebody get some arm or some Magic Pen, excuse me, and they have that with their, of course, Void Staffs, one on Ari and one on, of course, Karma. But adding that extra 20 for everybody that's around there is really, really helpful. And actually, I feel like it's making a big difference right now in this team. I'm glad they got the Void Staffs too, but the Abyssal Scepter on top of that is exactly what you need. That's kind of the counter, I guess you could say, to the Locket. Locket gives the aura of MR, and the Abyssal Scepter gives the aura of Magic Pen.
Yeah, that definitely, like you said, that's going to give them the chance to really come back in these team fights, even with the super minions going in their favor. They've shown that they can win team fights all over the place, and now that they have more Magic Pen just to counter all this MR that's coming out, they have another chance. There goes the Gnar ult. Hopefully they won't initiate another fight off that. The only next power spike that we're looking for, at least that I'm looking for, is Vayne getting that last Whisper. Because then that's all she needs. We already see Kha'Zix with it. Once she gets that last Whisper, it's going to be almost impossible for them to tank through anything that she has.
Well, there's Eve going in right there. They're going to get a good engage from Leona coming back. There's the ultimate right onto Karma. They're not going to fall up. They're just going to keep trying to peel for their back line, trying to kill Randominator, but those shields coming in are so devastating. Kayle does go down without popping her ultimate, unfortunately. I think it was the silence that killed her. And Garen actually going there with the ultimate. It's so devastating. There's the flash forward to the silence, and Ahri not going to be able to escape. Does actually pop the Zhonya's under turret, so good call by Ahri. Can she pop that last bit of ult? Is she going to go down? No, unfortunately. Kha'Zix makes it happen. He's going to die, though, before he can jump away. But this should still be great for RCS Magenta, because they just have minions wailing on there. And here comes Vayne. Can she make it happen, or is the shield going to be enough? The lifesteal is just barely enough. And the turret was not focusing Vayne because Karma was just too far out of range, unfortunately. I think if Karma had actually walked up, Vayne might have taken a turret shot there and died. But
yeah,
this looks like it
possible.
might actually be the game here for RCS Magenta.
I love that. I mean, we saw some really great fights from both sides. Ooh, really close. Kayle might be able to actually push this back.
There's the ult. Oh no, Vayne actually tumbled away while Kayle was ulted. That's the perfect time where you want to go in and get that free damage. Now there's going to be a dead Leona, unfortunately. And Vayne is not only so low that she can't really do much, but didn't really get too much damage on that Nexus. If I was Vayne there, I would have just gone ham and tried my best to flash around, kite around, and get as much damage on that Nexus as you can. Because as an AD carry like that, you can kill that Nexus pretty quick. Might as well try for the Peke. Why not be the hero?
Yeah, that's actually what I'm wondering. Oh,
whoa!
Peke coming in. There's the flash ult.
I think he took my advice too much to heart there. That was a little bit too ham, and the problem now is there's 40 seconds. That was actually really bad timing to die. There's 35 seconds right now where the side of RCS Green can make something happen potentially.
It's possible. They do have enough wave clear where these super minions aren't really that big of a deal. The problem is they don't really have that much damage to put on the tower. I mean, they don't have any shields really to be able to put out damage to the tower besides Kayle's Lich Bane.
Yeah, that's a very good point, exactly like you said. Kayle really is the only kind of legitimate damage coming in onto the turret. The rest is just that bit of AP scaling that they have, because of course you get a little bit more turret damage based on your AP there. Already trying to get some poke in there. And the inhibitor is going to respawn here right now for the blue side, so that will provide a little bit of safety without those super minions on the map. But of course Vayne is back up, and Vayne actually says, no, I'm not going for the last Whisper, I'm not going for the Infinity Edge, I'm going for the double Phantom Dancer as my second and third item, I believe is what he did. Oh, sorry, no, excuse me, he finished off the Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer. So yeah, instead of going for the last Whisper at all, I would have liked that, but there's the double, or the triple Gnar ultimate. Not going to do anything there, unfortunately. Karma goes down before she can pop her Zhonya's, and Ahri might go down, but no, the Condemn actually puts her up, but no! She goes into the turret! So that was actually perfectly played, crazily enough, and it is only, unfortunately, 2 people alive for RCS Green right now. Eve and Rek'Sai really do not have the best wave clear. Eve's trying to make it happen though. Let's see what they can do. Going in. Can they get the kill on Vayne? Vayne just needs to run and just push objectives right now. Just stay away from the enemy. Just don't get involved. Keep kiting. Kite for your life, Vayne. As you Biddy going in. Can they make it happen? No, they cannot. Valiant effort from Eve and Rek'Sai, but that is going to be the game for RCS Magenta.
Yeah, that was a really hard decision that RCS Green had to make. Unfortunately, once Vayne came back, they were like, you know what? They had nothing to lose on RCS Magenta's side, so they could just go in and finish it off. So it's definitely a good play. That's the second one we've seen RCS Magenta make some really good aggressive calls.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to RCS Magenta. Moving on to the next round. Great game played by RCS Green, though. Really, really competitive game, and it really kind of opened up after that team fight there in the mid to take the second-tier turret right there. Before that, the game was pretty much dead even, so really well played by both sides. We'll be jumping into our next match here very shortly. My name is Streepole, casting alongside Denizen Wolf. We are the Random Championship Series, and you can find our website, randomcs.com. We host ARAM tournaments every single Friday, and we also have October 10th. We have a special event for the Poro Olympics for Joanne of Arc, a partner Twitch streamer, so please head over to randomcs.com, go to our register tab, and click League of Legends, and you'll see all of our upcoming tournaments and things like that, all free to enter, all with tons of cool RP prizes and things like that. So thank you guys so much for participating in our RCS events, and to everyone that helps out, whether it's with your time or donations, all of you guys really keep us going, so thank you guys so much. And if you would like to contribute to the RCS, please go to randomcs.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and click the crowdfunding button. You'll be taken to our Patreon page where you can find out more about all of our awesome cross-promotional sponsorship opportunities. So they're really cool stuff that really benefits us and benefits you as well. So please check that out, randomcs.com. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening and playing, and we'll be right back with our next round of games.
She just
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Random Championship Series Open Division ARAM tournament for today, Friday, October the 9th. We are in our semifinal matchup right now for the bottom side of the bracket. We have the team we've been watching all the games so far on the bottom side. Get RCS Magenta on the purple side this time, which makes it nice because Magenta and purple are close enough. On the blue side, we have Randy's favorites who are going to be vying for that spot in the finals. These two teams, whichever one makes it, of course, will be playing for that $1,600 or $1,600, $1,600 RP. That would be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. We don't have that much money. Jeez. Slow down here. Pump the
playing,
brakes.
not casting. If it was $1,600, holy
Yeah,
cow.
yeah. At the stream, we're playing, guys. Let's go. Get the team together. Yeah, no, 1,600 RP plus Triumphant Rises for the whole team, 4-win IP boost as well, but everybody in our top 4 are all going home with RP prizes, so regardless of what the outcome of this game is, everybody in this game is going home with not only 4-win RP boost, but definitely RP on top of that as well. So congratulations to all the teams that made it this far. Should be an awesome game. Like I said, blue side, Randy's favorites, and the purple side, RCS Magenta.
Yeah, and like I said, with the pricing, make sure everyone goes in and actually registers for pricing. You can go to the Battlefy page. You can do it. It's right under where it says rules. It has a little link that says register for Riot pricing. Make sure you do that before 1 a.m. CST tonight, because that's when it cuts off. And if you don't do that, everyone on the team has to, or else you will not get the pricing if you are in these top 4 teams right now. So make sure you go and get that done.
Yeah, got to cover your butt. Make sure you get those prizes. And everybody looks really good in this game so far. I'm really excited for both these team comps. It looks a little bit more poke for the side of RCS Magenta right now. They've got that MF, they've got the Vel'Koz, maybe some Qs from Gragas or something like that. But it looks like a lot of beefiness from the side of Randy's favorites. They don't really have too much poke, but they have a lot of ways to jump on people, lock them down, and blow them up. And they're all pretty darn tanky. Pretty much besides the Shaco, everybody on that team has some sort of beefiness built into them. And the same cannot be said for the side of RCS Magenta, but they do have some nice long range, and the combination of the MF ult plus the Vel'Koz ult plus potentially the Wukong, ultimate, like if I'm kind of picturing this in my head right now. So let's say Darius goes in, he uses his apprehend, pulls in a bunch of people, Wukong goes in with the ultimate, knocks up all those people, Vel'Koz pops the ultimate, MF pops the ultimate, and just everybody dies instantly, pretty much. Now, of course, Gragas' ultimate can actually knock everybody out of that.
That's what I was going to say.
Be very, very, very careful about that. But if the Gragas can actually chain the ultimate at the end to be kind of the finisher, it actually is one of the greatest wombo combos you'll ever see. It's pretty much in Season 2, they had the Curse of the Sad Bullet Time combo with Amumu and MF, and that was kind of like, that was it. That was the end-all, be-all. So I'm really hoping we can kind of have some flashbacks from Season 2 here and see some crazy bullet time action. In the most recent patch, in 5.19, they did give MF's ultimate scaling bonus AD ratio, so a tad more damage on that. We'll see if it works out.
Yeah, especially because we used to see MF building a lot of AP in ARAMs just because of the ratios going out, but now they have way more of an opportunity. And with Vel'Koz and Gragas, they can all, Wukong, Darius, MF can build AD as much as they want. They have a really good balance here. The one thing that I do love is RCS Magenta has a ton of AoE, like we mentioned, with their wombo combos that are able to come out. But like you were mentioning with Randy's favorites, they do have a lot of tankiness, and they have sustain. They have good sustain with Vladimir and with Aatrox, and that's going to be a huge thing. If you have a sustained long fight and the burst wombo combo doesn't finish them off, then Randy's favorites is going to actually be able to turn it around. So I'm really excited to see how that happens and if they're able to avoid some of the damage from the combos.
Yeah, very true. And it could potentially as well, if Vel'Koz is channeling his ult, MF is channeling his ult, it's very possible that Skarner jumps up and ults one of them, just pulls them back to his team and drags them into the pit of hell. Aatrox can jump on them. Nautilus has a million ways to actually get onto somebody and lock them down one way or another. There's a lot of ways that the side of RCS Magenta can actually flub their whole wombo combo, especially if you are one of those squishies. So it's really, really dangerous, but if they pull it off properly, it's absolutely devastating. On such a skinny map like this, there's nowhere to run from that combo.
Yeah, that's the perfect thing. Is I think the main thing that we'd focus on in this match, which I'm really excited for, is counterplay. There's so much counterplay that's available on both sides. Like you said, all the CC that can get rid of the channels and everything. You also have Gragas that might be able to kind of mess up the wombo combo going on, but you also have good pick potential coming with the Skarner and the Nautilus to get rid of the high damage, Vel'Koz and MF going out. So it'll be really good to see who they focus, who actually lands off CC, who negates what damage. It's going to be cool to see what kind of plays we get out of this.
You are 100% correct, and actually on top of that, there's so many snowballs right now for summoner spells coming from Randy's favorites, which is exactly
Yep.
what I want to see. How do you get to the back line safely when you don't have a real kind of gap close? Well, you throw a snowball at him, and then you activate it, and you're in the back line, and it doesn't matter because you're so tanky, and they just don't want nothing to do with that. MF and Vel'Koz want absolutely no part in any sort of trades whatsoever. They want free damage, and if they don't get free damage, it's really, really annoying to play them. Neither of them can kite very well at all, but if they get free damage, they're so strong. But with 4 snowballs as well as a ton of CC and gap closes, possibly an invisible Shaco coming at you, placing boxes in the side brushes there, so you can't actually go there into escape at all. You can't move around too much. You're getting feared. You're getting poked by them. There's so much annoyance and possibility for misplay on the side of RCS Magenta. Like you were saying, so much ability to counterplay. This match is going to be extremely exciting. Both teams have so many ways to win the game and potentially throw as well, but they're fighting right away. Oh my goodness, in goes Nautilus. Big damage coming in. There's the apprehend. Popping the pool there is Vladimir. So a decent damage on there initially, but not going to be too much to worry about early. I would have liked to see Darius actually take the snowball instead of the exhaust there. It would have allowed him more opportunities for those crazy apprehend plays, pulling in the entire team, or potentially maybe like the Shaco, one of the squishier members of their team.
Yeah, I was a little bit curious about that too, and I was actually wondering why maybe one of the members of Randy's favorites didn't take exhaust.
Oh my goodness, and there is the hook onto that Vel'Koz, exactly what I was talking about. They're able to back off the passive being burnt by Aatrox immediately, and he might die. The heal is being popped there, and they're going to survive for the time being. Huge damage coming in. Vladimir might go down. He flashes away just barely at the end. Oh, there's the flash coming in from Darius. They pick up the kill, and it's going to be a 1-0 trade, but literally everybody's health bar flashing red right now. Crazy team fight from both sides. Oh my goodness, Nautilus might go down for some damage from Vel'Koz, but it is not enough early. Wow,
Yeah.
what a fight.
Interesting. I mean, the typical, we see a lot of the aggressive playstyle that we've seen from RCS Magenta so far, and it was kind of good to mention they do have a much better like early level damage team with all the damage coming out from Vel'Koz and Darius. We get another pull coming in.
Engaged from Nautilus, but I don't know if he wants to go in too far. Wukong goes in, but that's going to be too far for him. Shaco actually going down as well. Buster Draco will go down after taking a turret shot. This is actually going to be a good trade here for Randy's favorites, but Nautilus goes down again from some poke. So it ends up being an even trade pretty much right there, kind of pulling things back into the little bit maybe the favor of RCS Magenta, but pretty much at the end it's not really too much in either's favor.
It's this is going to be interesting to see as well. This is honestly the first time I've seen Skarner played in ARAM, so especially with the new Skarner with the little spires coming out. So I'm wondering how, if they're actually going to utilize this really well, you know, Skarner getting that extra attack speed and move speed going on to get maybe some better engages in that brush there.
Yeah, that's a great point right there. And that's the thing, is the snowballs have long range and they're easy to land, but they're not like 100% of the time you're going to land them. You can miss them for sure. So even if it ends up being that Skarner uses the speed up from those crystals to actually just land a snowball to eventually land the engage and then land the ult and pull back, that could really be kind of the difference at the end of the day. That little bit of speed up from Skarner not only helps you, like you said, even if you can't actually just get straight to the person and you don't have a flash to get the ult off of, getting in range, getting the speed up to land a proper snowball could be the difference that they need right here. Here goes Nautilus again going in, but he might go down again on top of that. Decent damage traded back, but really at the end of the day, Nautilus engages right here. They're actually usually a better trade for RCS Magenta, at least so far.
Yeah, and we have Aatrox that needs to be pretty careful here since his passive's down and he's pretty much dead. I wonder if they can push up, he might get a chance to execute himself, but it's pretty much going to be hard for him to do anything for the next few minutes until he gets some of those health relics coming out. I do love seeing we do have more investment items.
I was just about to say, I love the fact that everybody's taking those catalysts, but here's the fight. Underneath the turret right there, they are taking damage. Wukong almost going down, same with Gragas. There's the flash from Shaco. He's going to go in the back line. Is it going to make it happen? He's going after the Buster Draco. No, it's not going to happen, and unfortunately, Shaco goes down. Not enough damage. He actually was AP Shaco. So he really has more of a combo. He doesn't have that ability to just stick on someone and just whack at them over and over again. There's the engage from Nautilus. He might go down as well, though, and it's the same thing over and over again for Nautilus. He lands good engages, but there's just no follow-up. There's more follow-up from the enemy team. The flash after the body slam. Down goes Gragas, but he makes a play to pick up that Aatrox. Some decent damage on the turret, but the rest of his team just forced to back off right now.
And now it's good to notice, I mean, like they're playing aggressive right now, we know that RCS Magenta has that, whoa, why Shaco?
Shaco trying to make things happen.
We do see RCS Magenta already hitting level 6 right now, and we have everyone over on Randy's favorites level 5. They have the potential to start the Wombo combo with their aggressive playstyle.
Oh, and here we go. Nautilus coming in again, but again, there's just so much trade on him. There's the ultimate coming up from Vel'Koz. They try and dive this, but there's so much damage. The bullet time does get stopped eventually, but just so much damage. MF picks up a kill. Vel'Koz picks up a kill. Aatrox does die, which, like we said, he probably should have because he's so low on HP, but he does pick up a kill beforehand, so not that bad. And Gragas, after dying and coming back from base, picked up the Righteous Glory. So interesting. I've never actually seen a Righteous Glory ever built on ARAM before, which is kind of strange because it's a good item. But
it is.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought it was going to be him going for the Rod of Ages with that catalyst, so it is kind of interesting to see. I was a little bit weirded out by that as well, seeing the right, because I'm not sure, they already have some really good CC and the Wombo combos coming out. I'm not sure if they really need to chase down as much.
I do have a theory. Because I checked his goal, but there's the engage. I'll talk about it in just a second. Lockdown from Nautilus ultimate. Can they make things happen with the Wukong ultimate? Spinning people around, good damage, but in comes Aatrox and they finish him off. Vel'Koz going down in the back line. That's some glowing spaghetti on the ground right there. Turret diving is Skarner. He's gonna go down. In comes Aatrox with the snowball. Huge damage onto Vlad. There's the ultimate, and it actually is the last hit ultimate from Buster Draco, like I was talking about. In this matchup, you actually kind of want to use it to last hit people almost. It's weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Oh, they almost landed the hook off. That would have been kind of interesting there. But we see Darius going ham.
Yeah, Darius getting that speed up, and Nautilus is going to go down here, unfortunately. They do land the snowball, but they're not going to want to follow that up. Oh my god, they do follow it up! Shaco. Excuse me. Yeah, Shaco going in and popping right back out. This Shaco is crazy. XXT-Roy here is not afraid of anything. He's just not afraid of anything.
Yeah, I did like the timing though when Randy's favorites did actually go in on that fight, because the Vel'Koz ult was down and the MF ult. So it was good timing with, you know, they had their level 6 ready, they had their ults already, but it was just they went a little bit too far. Like we saw one of them died from their tower, and there was a little bit weird focus. I mean, it was a great time to make the decision, but they just had to play it a little bit better.
Yeah, good call. Exactly like you said. You want to take advantage of that timing window when those two ultimates are down, because that really kind of decides how the fights go. If those are up, it's pretty hard to win team fights. But just to jump back like we were talking about with those catalyst items, the difference between the Righteous Glory and the Rod of Ages, the thing that I was really thinking is because Gragas died early, he didn't have the 1500 gold for the Rod of Ages, and I think he was just like, ooh, I'm not going to back for so long after this. The Rod of Ages is not going to stack fast enough. Screw it, I'm going to get Righteous Glory. I'm just going to finish this off. Who cares? But when he died, he did flash extremely aggressively, so it's entirely possible that that gold back was calculated, and he was like, oh, I have enough for my Righteous Glory. I'll just go kill myself and kill someone else, and then I'll back and grab it. So either way, it's not bad, though. It's possibly calculated. Oh my god, there's the double ultimate. There's the ultimate from Darius as well. The flash from Vladimir, but actually doesn't do anything, unfortunately. He goes in, but not enough damage at all. There's way too much damage from RCS Magenta. The Skarner ultimate coming a little bit late. Nautilus does get the shutdown onto Darius, but this is going to be a dead turret here at the beginning of the game. There's the jump from Wukong as well. Nautilus is going to go down here in the back. Actually, no, not. He has just enough shield. Gragas going to go in. Gragas might die from this turret right here. He's trying to get the damage. No, he goes down. Innervation, making it happen. Rod of Ages Nautilus. Let's go.
Yeah, that was nice timing on the shield cooldown there. Very lucky for him to actually, and then good chance to pull it in.
Yeah, Wukong, I think, was trying to make an execute happen right there, but Shaco out from the shadows, and MF getting locked down. There's Shaco coming in, but like I mentioned before, he's AP Shaco, so he does not have the same kind of lockdown and slap, the sustained damage, but it doesn't matter. His team's there to follow up, and they kill the two strongest squishy members of RCS Magenta. Are they able to take a turret in time? No, not even remotely close, because their wave is actually pushed back at their own turret. There was still minions from RCS Magenta way behind them. Wow.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. This is kind of Randy's favorites is making really good decisions as far as when to go in, but they're having a difficult time with dealing with the damage and the wombo combo from RCS Magenta. So I'm curious. I'm kind of thinking that they're gonna gain a little bit more of an advantage now that they have a little bit of a bigger lane to kind of fight through and have a little bit more room to actually avoid some of these wombo combos and all this damage, and I'm thinking they might start coming back as they get a little bit tankier, especially if Darius doesn't get some tanky items.
Yeah, very true. Went for the Black Cleaver first, which is not a bad idea because, of course, you do have a decent amount of AD damage coming out from that Wukong as well as that MF. And if you can shred that armor, and MF already has the Black Cleaver too, but here we go. There's the Wukong ultimate into the back line. They're trying to go in the back line as well. Vlad pops the ultimate. Vel'Koz in the back. Doesn't take that much damage, doing a good job hiding in the back line. They do take down 3 right there. The cleanup from Darius is crazy. Popping that ultimate train, and that is going to be a clean sweep from RCS Magenta. And if you just look straight at the items right now, you could kind of predict that just strictly in theory based on the stats that they have, that they would win that team fight.
Yeah, I loved the great thing about the new Darius is we saw his passive go off on everybody after he did that Q and he got the 5 stacks, and you just saw massive damage coming out, especially with all that armor shred coming out from both MF and Darius. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're able to try and grab that inhibitor and back out, but they're going to get engaged on. In comes Wukong. Can they make Aatrox go down? The ults are back up from MF as well as Vel'Koz, but it is not the best in the world. There's the engage from Nautilus onto Vel'Koz in the back. They're fighting for their life. MF actually walks forward. They abandon the back line. It's going to be Shaco and Nautilus versus Gragas and Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz, flashes away. Gragas picking up the kill there, takes down Shaco. Wow, Gragas actually making things happen. A little bit of help from his minions right there. There's the shield coming in on Innervation. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Double kill for Gragas. Darius might go down. He does go down. And they don't get the inhibitor. Snowball landing on MF. Is he going to go down? No, Skarner actually... Oh my goodness, they pick up the kill. Vladimir making it happen with the pool. MF getting locked down, but she does kill Skarner. Can they kite in time? No, it is not nearly enough. The Aatrox doing too much damage right there, but they're still just going to have to wave clear. Overall, great trade for RCS Magenta.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting decision for MF to when she finally came back and finished off Shaco there, she had a chance to do some damage and get an extra kill on the Nautilus and at least get them finished off. But instead she decided to go and get some damage on the inhibitor turret. I'm not sure exactly which would have been better because she could have killed off Nautilus earlier.
And there's the engage, though. Wukong forced to back off. They do get hooked, though, getting locked down with that passive on top of that, but Wukong with the Merc Treads gets out of there pretty quick. There's the pool being popped. Aatrox's passive is popped as well. They have the Skarner Crystal now, but Shaco going in as well. Actually, no, it's the clone, excuse me. Apprehend does not land, and they're going to just back off for the time being. Snowball lands. Are they going to go in on this? Nope, not right now. Just waiting for the time being. But like you said, MF's build as well is more of a champion-killing build. She's got the Black Cleaver. She's got the Cloak of Agility. She doesn't really have that much killing of turrets in her stats right now. It's mostly about shredding champions' armor. It's about getting those crits off, possibly doing damage to champions. But if you're attacking an objective, you really don't do that much. So normally I'd say AD carry, focus the objective. But right now, to be honest, MF just focus the champions.
Yeah, and she could have had her teammates come help her out with the inhibitor.
And in goes Wukong. He's popping the ultimate. Skarner pops the ult on him, though. Wukong will probably go down. Aatrox finishing him off. But it looks like the front line of Randy's favorites might go down as well. There's the ultimate from MF. Skarner is going to go down. That armor shred is absolutely brutal on him. And they are going to pick up that inhibitor. I believe great and beautiful apprehend there by Darius. And they're going to grab themselves an inhibitor right now. Beautiful chain of events here for RCS Magenta. Picking up the first inhibitor of the game.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that Darius didn't get that Dunk Master skin because he did some really good dunk in there, getting off pretty much 3 people.
Well, there's the exhaust from Darius coming out, but will it actually be enough to save his life? I don't think he's going to want to burn the flash, but actually he heals up from the Q right there, and he's content just to chill for the time being, getting that Q back up, but now he goes down. There's Vladimir, just pressing E, and just everything just melts around him at this point. Vlad is pretty darn strong with that Rylai's haunting guys, and also the Sork boots right there. So he's got enough just flat magic penetration to really cut down on these guys that aren't stacking that magic resistance.
Yeah, and it's still not terrible play for RCS Magenta to die out right there. The timers are low enough where they'll be able to come back, and I mean, they really have no real damage on this first tier turret here, and they'll be able to kind of clean up this and be able to defend it until their team gets there.
Yeah, very true, and they're coming back with more items as well, and that's the scary thing, is even if you just look at the items, you don't even have to look at what the items are themselves. If you just look at how many items there are to the side of RCS Magenta, it's pretty much twice as much for Magenta as it is for Randy's favorites right now. So without even really knowing too much about the game, you can kind of tell that, unfortunately, Randy's favorites are at the disadvantage. That said, it does not mean that they can't win these fights right now. In goes Wukong, we'll see what they can make happen. Skarner in the backline actually pops the ultimate onto that Vel'Koz, but he is going to go down for his troubles. No backup from his team. The line is just too tanky from RCS Magenta. In comes Wukong as well. Has yet to pop his ultimate, just holding off for the time being, but he might go for it. There's the Nautilus backline dive. Well, Wukong dives the backline on their side as well. Shaco in the back, trying to make something happen on Darius, but no, Shaco's just going to try and run for his life. This is going to be a cleanup from RCS Magenta. Vladimir running away. There's the flash from Darius. Can he land the Q? Doesn't land the Q. Lands the ult and shut down there. Wukong coming in for the finishing blow.
This might be a good final push here to at least get this tower. I don't know if they'll be able to finish out the game, but they should be able to get enough damage on this tower with MF there. But at the same time, they're kind of continuously losing the advantage. I'm surprised Vlad actually didn't build any sustain. Kind of something necessary he needs for these longer fights. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Especially on an ARAM map like this, when you have no ability to go back to base and heal up,
There's Skarner picking up the kill on Wukong, though. The knockup onto Darius. Can he survive, or will he be able to kill the Aatrox? He does! Takes down Aatrox. Skarner going to be able to kill the MF right there, and they're going to be able to clean up this fight for the time being. But with Super Minions pushing in, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Should be a clean ace besides the Vel'Koz, excuse me, that is just coming back onto the map for the time being. Eating those Shaco boxes, and here comes AP Shaco. I don't know about this play, but he might just be setting up in the bush.
Yeah, it looks like he's just kind of getting good positioning there, but you see Vel'Koz isn't really falling for it at all. He knows his plan here. Almost hit that Q, but that's going to be close.
That's, yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah. Unfortunately, they're not the best idea because, of course, turrets do have that vision. And one of the things as well that we forgot to mention is actually the ARAM-specific item, the Hextech Sweeper. Gragas picked that up. So not only is it, of course, great for seeing the nearby stealth enemies, so you can see the traps and stuff that Shaco's got down, but of course he gives 20% CDR as well. So that with the locket that is going to be finished off by Gragas, he's got some pretty darn good CDR. Which is really nice to have on that Gragas, to have so many ways to slow and just constantly making yourself more powerful with the W, slowing with the Q, Gackles with the E, and the ults are just great as well for not only creating picks, but again, just throwing them in there for damage on top of that as well. Just having more CDR on Gragas is something that you usually don't pick up that much, but when you can get it, it's great to have. And here comes the fight again. Vel'Koz in the back line. It looks like Skarner might be going on to them. There's the Apprehend, pulling Vlad back, actually. Ultimate, he's going to get that reset on that as well. Aatrox going to get that passive proc in just a second here. Skarner trying to make things happen, but nope. MF going to fight the Shaco clone. And there's the second ultimate from Darius. Triple kill. Can he get this? Let's see. There's the Quadra. Go back for Nautilus. Nautilus hooks onto the Vel'Koz. And come on, Darius. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, here we go. Here we go. We've got the time. And there it is.
Yeah, Gragas, hey. Gragas right there. Yeah.
Attaboy. Gravedigger 1-2-2 getting that Darius pentakill. 17, 5, and 17 from Darius. That's a strong champion, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. The Juggernaut's coming in right there.
Yep. And even though there was a last-ditch effort, unfortunately, from Holy Spork, that is going to be the end of the game. It is going to be RCS Magenta moving on into the grand finals with an extremely well-played match right there. Very back and forth, but Randy's favorites, unfortunately, going to be playing the third-place matchup. So they still will be going home with prizes. They could be going home with more if they win third place, but we'll see. Regardless, everybody going home with cool stuff, RP, win bonuses, all that great stuff. So, finals match coming up in just a few minutes here. We'll be right back in just a second. My name is Streetball. I am casting alongside Denizen Wolf, and we are the Random Championship Series. Our website is randomcs.com. Please give us a follow if you're watching on Twitch right now. We'd really appreciate it. We do have ARAM tournaments every Friday, and we have special events during the week sometimes too. Check all of those out at randomcs.com. Click the Register tab, and then go to League of Legends. All of our tournaments are up there for you to view and participate in. Sign up, watch, all that great stuff. We'll be right back with our grand finals of our ARAM tournament. See you guys soon.
Watch time unfold, and I try to make it back in this raging sea, 'cause I'm way too deep. All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold. Try to make it back in this raging sea, 'cause I'm way too deep, 'cause I'm way too watch time unfold, and I try to make it back in this raging sea, 'cause I'm way too deep, 'cause I'm way too deep.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Random Championship Series Open Division ARAM tournament for today, Friday, October the 9th. We are in the grand finals right now between our resident favorites in every ARAM tournament. We have all mid, all modes. These guys know their stuff. They are like the SKT of the RCS. Like, these guys are the favorites. They know how to play this game really well, but our up-and-coming challengers right now are RCS Magenta, who have won all of their games, of course, which they need to do to make it to the finals, but they've won in pretty commanding fashion for most of their games. Really solid play from RCS Magenta so far, so it could be a big challenge for all mid, all modes.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too. I mean, RCS Magenta is a team made up of all free agents, and we have things now like Discord where you can actually use communication, voice chat with each other, so to kind of get rid of that barrier that normally you would have in a tournament like this. So it goes to show that people who join up as a free agent, not just on a team, can make it through to the finals like this. It can happen, especially even against people like all mid, all modes.
You're absolutely right. And like you said, great communication so far. Really, if I didn't know that these guys were a free agent team, I would have absolutely assumed they had been playing together for a while, because they have great communication. They follow up. They focus the same target. They CC train. They actually have pretty calculated initiations and fights. They're really strong. The problem that I'm seeing right now is an entirely AP team. It's not even like, oh, we've got some tanks and we've got some AP, and we've got literally 5 AP mages. I'm not exactly sure what you can do with that comp besides just getting really good engages. If you get a good engage, maybe, but if you don't, then it's like you need to win early or things are going to go bad, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to really decide how to itemize here, especially because they might want to start things like Rod of Ages. They might want to do Rylai's Crystal Scepter, get some health in there, also maybe some Zonias, because it's going to be difficult, especially with you got Blitz Pulls, you have Syndra Stun, you have the stun from Veigar, you have stun from Jax. They have stuns everywhere, plus the fact that if Yasuo lands a decent ult, most of them are not going to be tanky enough to handle the damage coming out from all the bursts they have from all mid, all modes. But at the same time, RCS Magenta does have a lot of AoE damage. They do have some stuns of their own. They also have some decent CC with the charm and everything. So it's going to be very hard to get some good skill shots off, and they're going to have to trade really well against our, champion competitors, all mid, all modes here, who know how to do it.
Yeah, it's really scary because they have a pretty darn good pick team as well for all mid, all modes. They got the Blitzcrank, which is just devastating because you're just constantly throwing picks out, and it's harder to dodge on the smaller map. The Event Horizon from Veigar is nearly impossible to dodge. Again, Syndra Stun's harder to dodge on the smaller map, and they've got some decent knock-up as well, of course, with the Blitzcrank. They can help out the Yasuo to land that ultimate. There's really good CC coming out from Jax as well. Like, they have a decently well-rounded team despite not having an AD carry or anything like that. Definitely all all mid, all modes got the better shake of the randomization of champions here, but that's not to say that RCS Magenta can't make this happen. If I'm them, though, I'm telling everyone on the team we're all building Catalyst early and we're all getting Rod of Ages because we all need to be at least somewhat tanky or else we're dead.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be the main thing. You have to build some form of really good health there. Rod of Ages is going to give them the sustain they need in lane, with that catalyst, just to help with poke that's going to happen early, because someone's going to get caught out by Blitz. It's going to happen. Someone's going to get stunned by Veigar. Someone's going to get stunned by Syndra or get hit by Syndra poke. And especially early, they aren't going to have the health or defenses to really deal with that. So if you get a catalyst, you got to be able to heal that back up, especially against someone like all mid, all modes who knows exactly what they're doing. I can already see Yasuo having his whirlwind built up and then Veigar getting a 3-man stun and he just whips all of them. I can already see it happening. So it's one of those things. They're going to have to be super careful, stay back, and they're going to have to use their poke and their range as much as they can to really get these team fights going.
Yeah, like you were mentioning earlier, I think Zhonya's will probably play a big part, because really just having that stasis for the 2.5 seconds might be enough to turn the team fights, because I'm trying to run through scenarios in my head of how RCS Magenta can actually win these fights other than just strictly catching someone out and blowing them up due to a mistake from all mid, all modes. What they can potentially do is actually have someone be caught out, whether it's through a Syndra stun, a Blitzcrank grab, a Veigar stun, even a Jax jump and stun. Whoever's caught out can Zhonya's, and then everybody throws everything they have on top of the Zhonya's person, so that if there's anybody that actually does come into the fight and tries to do damage to that person that they did catch out, they just immediately get blown up and or zoned out. So that could be a potential way for them to win fights, but it requires a lot of coordination, and like I said, it also requires a Zhonya's or some form of tankiness to actually survive the initial burst. Because if they can survive the initial burst, they can actually just wombo the side of all mid, all modes, but it's going to require a few missteps from all mid, all modes, which who knows if they're actually going to have those missteps. They are a very, very solid team.
And like you said, the wombo, that the possibility of the wombo that RCS Magenta has, if Annie or Lissandra gets a really good ultimate off and they get at least 4 people in that ult, they can lock them down with the Zyra ult. They can get really good AoE with the Brand ult. They have everything that they can use. As long as all mid, all modes is caught in a clump where at least 4 of them get hit, they can 100-0 pretty much their entire team, but it's gonna take some time.
Oh god, Zyra already caught inside the Event Horizon. There's the pull, and that is the first death of the game. 30 seconds first blood. I think that is actually the fastest ARAM death I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't even need to catch anybody in the actual stun like we've seen with Veigar's gate there, because the gate stays up long enough where, especially with the Blitz there, the Blitz really makes it even easier with that. As long as you have someone in that little confined circle, just makes it that much easier to get a pull, and then once a pull happens, they're gone.
Ooh.
There's another.
Oh my goodness, Flash is being burned there from both Brand and Blitzcrank right there. Wow, yeah, behind the door, and he's just spamming that Fnatic. He's going, hey, look at me, I'm Yellow Star, look at me go. And he's just flashing like crazy, making plays on Blitzcrank already. Blitzcrank's a great champion on ARAM, but I'm really, really frightened for the side of RCS Magenta, just from the plays in 1 minute that behind the door has made so far.
You can tell, I mean, the communication, like we've said, all mid, all modes has done this for a long time, and they pretty much just spam ARAMs. They do this as their fun for League, so we'll see a lot of really good plays, a lot of really good communication and combos coming out from them.
Oh, and they do a great job of training the damage on top of that stunned Ahri. Like you mentioned before with the Event Horizon, you don't need to land it. All you need to do is trap the person inside. Because like what we saw before with Gravedigger 122, he didn't really do that much wrong. He was just caught out of position. He didn't run into the wall, which was the right thing to do. He stood in the middle, but the problem is that just gives you enough time for Blitz to land the free hook. It's pretty hard to dodge inside there. He would have had to have flashed over the Event Horizon to stay safe. And burning your flash that early, I think he just probably thought that, you know what, it's better to just take the death right now. Lissandra getting CC'd. She is able to escape with a nice W and a Q at the end right there. And actually, I'm really thinking right now that Lissandra might be their best bet. Lissandra should actually probably just build tankiness and then bait in the Blitzcrank pulls and ult herself. And then hopefully they can land a wombo on all of the CC members that are all stacked, because Lissandra's being pulled into their team. Because I really don't see very many ways that they can actually safely engage.
Yeah, that's really a good point, and I did actually really like that last trade. I mean, Lissandra got down pretty far, but they got a lot of damage out.
Oh my goodness, these are max range hooks from Blitzcrank. Literally max range, like 1 pixel more and you're safe. This is this is heartbreaking to watch. These pulls are just devastating.
And that's why you gotta watch out. I mean, all mid, all modes knows exactly what they're doing, and RCS Magenta has played against teams where they could be aggressive, and now they're playing against a team that's aggressive against them.
Yasuo actually with the tornado botched the Blitzcrank hook, but he says, don't worry, I'll follow up on it. Rare Candy dashes under turret, gets the kill. But this is exactly what I was talking about before. I say this so much. You know how you hit a skill shot? When someone isn't moving. So when someone CC'd, then you throw the skill shot, and it's 100%. Blitzcrank has landed, I think, 100% of his hooks so far.
100%. And that's one of those we already see with itemization too. You just see with Jax, you don't really have that much investment items you can build, so you got really good burst damage from Sheen. And you have investment item from Yasuo, getting that Avarice Blade, getting the gold later. And then all the APs have Catalyst.
Oh my god. The coordination from all mid all modes is just spectacular. Gross Pigeon might go down there, he does. So first death of the game for them, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. Like you were mentioning, actually Jax might be the one they want to go back, because he can probably pick up like a Phage or something like that. And maybe some pieces of the Trinity. But it's insane how well they're using this communication between their team, because they're setting up the Yasuo walls. Oh, there's the stun, Event Horizon. Oh my goodness, Buster Draco actually taking some damage. Will he go down and gets the bop up from Blitzcrank? Yes, this is going to be the death there. Eric 185 picking up the kill. They get some stuns on What is a Wolf, but it's not nearly enough damage. Yasuo, Rare Candy is throwing up the wind wall, and they're pulling through the wind wall, so there's literally nothing they can do in terms of counterplay. They just get pulled, and they can't do any damage either.
Yeah, this is what goes to show, like we were talking about in other games, the early kills don't matter that much. They did not build really good damage stats in the beginning. They have tons of investment items, but because they're so coordinated, they can get all the damage off like continuously, and they're just pressuring this tower. And it's the little things. All they're doing is snowballing themselves, being super aggressive, getting a damage little by little here on the tower, and picking people off. And it works.
They're not trying to force anything, which is so important. They're just waiting. And I believe now Blitzcrank, yep, okay, so Syndra's there, but Blitzcrank is not there just yet. He needs about 400 more gold, because you want to back at 1,500, well not back, excuse me, in ARAM, you want to die. But you want to die strategically to get back and get that Rod of Ages stacking as soon as possible. So 1,550 gold, alright, we all go in, get as many kills as possible, and then die. 2 missed pulls for Blitzcrank there behind the door. Jeez, slack it.
Yeah. that was a good stun though. They did get a good stun off there. It is kind of hard with Brand having that skill shot, and you have to have them burning first. But I mean, RCS Magenta is doing a good job really deciding to change up their game and play passive now. They haven't died in a good minute here. They need to... Oh, we might see one here though.
Oh my goodness, Ari going down there, couldn't even have ulted. If she had, she would have gotten stunned by the Event Horizon regardless. The combination of the Vygar stuns into the Blitzcrank pulls with the defense of the Yasuo wind walls and the follow-up from Jackson Syndra, this is just absolutely demolishing the side of RCS Magenta. And like I was saying, they're being so patient right now. They're not trying to say, oh my goodness, we need the turret so badly right now, we need to get more kills, we need to actually force this game over. They're just letting that gold stack up, waiting for their investment items to really kind of pay full, like go run their full course, I guess you could say. And once that happens, then they can slowly actually start to make the calculated aggression and really end the game. But for right now, they're playing so strategic, and even though RCS Magenta is really doing nothing wrong, they're being beaten by this amazing strategy.
It's exactly right. It's one of those things that they know how to snowball themselves slowly. It's not about getting that quick, you know, we want to dive, we want to get all the kills. It's about the slow increase, because as time goes on, it'll just build up.
Oh wow, oh there was a minion there. Oh,
yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Syndra threw a minion into the Blitzcrank hook. Oh my god, that's what it was.
That was godly.
Yeah, wow, okay, so yeah, at this point, if that was a troll on his team, then yeah, that was amazing. But otherwise, a little bit of miscommunication there from Syndra and Blitzcrank. And yeah, behind the door actually, his hooks have, maybe that last hook there, the Syndra minion put him on tilt there. But Ari going in with the ultimate, aggressive ultimate from Ari. She's trying to make something happen for her team, trying to be the one that makes the play, lands the charm so they can train the CC. But now Ari's ultimate is down, and this is what happens. Oh my goodness, everybody gonna get knocked up from the Zyra ultimate though. They're trying to get that counter engage, but it is not enough. They are able, excuse me, to take down Vygar, so that's 1 kill, but Vygar is more than happy to go back to base to buy. Lissandra ending up going down. And this is pretty rough for Magenta right now. They are still able to hold their turret because they don't have the minion waves just yet. But to be honest, I'm looking for Blitzcrank and Syndra to kill themselves to pick up that Rod of Ages now.
Yeah, well, you can tell too that when that fight started, I mean, you can see they're grouped up right now on mid all modes, but when they were ready to start the fight, they split up because they knew they had the AoE stuns and the AoE damage, and they just know exactly how to counter what the other team's good at.
And there goes Jax. Beautiful play. He procced his counter-strike while he was traveling in air right there. Oh, great. Yeah, wow, great pushback stun. Zyra is going to go down here from that Blitzcrank. Or is she actually? No, they do have enough damage. Eric picking up the kill there. Extremely well played. Both sides are playing really well, but like I keep saying, all mid, all modes, just the strategy behind their play is so intelligent and so calculated. There's the knock up onto Lissandra, there's the ultimate, Event Horizon goes down, Yasuo dies as well, but there's the pull onto Annie, and her little combo is gone. There's the explosion from Vigar. Is Blitzcrank going down? Yes, he is. There's the double kill, and a couple Rod of Ages coming out for Lissandra and Annie right there, so they are going to be decently tanky, so not too shabby. Unfortunately for Brand, though, he has not, of course, completed the Rod of Ages yet, ended up going for that Chalice, which really, normally, I like, before I started playing more ARAMs, and before I started casting more ARAMs, I would have kind of done the same thing that Brand was doing there. Like, I'm like, oh, mana regen, that's great, Chalice is so good, but Catalyst really takes care of all of that for you, plus it does even more, because you can build into that Rod of Ages much faster. The Catalyst will keep you covered in terms of mana extremely well, way more than you'd actually think in this ARAM matchup, because you're leveling so constantly, and also just the fact that you have the extra HP on top of that, you're really not doing constant poke all day long. If you manage your mana a little well, it's extremely strong, and you really don't need to have those pure mana items to begin with. Brand gonna get pulled though. Oh no, he didn't get pulled actually. And here's the wombo we were talking about. Zyra ultimate with the Annie ultimate. Can they get out in time? Blitzcrank is gonna go down. Jax just barely escaping. This is the counterplay we were talking about. Let's see if RCS Magenta can actually come back here, still with that turret alive.
Yeah, you see RCS Magenta, even though they do have Brand dead, all of them are pretty healthy, while the rest of them, they have 2 of them half health right now. They just have to play it carefully.
Ooh, yeah, Lissandra, unfortunately. Oh, there, she pops her ult on herself. This could be the end of What is a Wolf right there, but oh, they are able to keep her alive just long, or keep him alive, excuse me, just long enough. Pick up the kill on Lissandra. Good flash from Ari to avoid that knockup from Yasuo, or else that would have been the death of her. But all mid, all modes. Winning that team fight right there. In comes... Oh my god, he's going down. Brand picks up a kill, but he is going to die as well. The health relic picked up by Gross Pigeon. He popped his ultimate, so good damage, but unfortunately that 1-for-1 trade... Oh no, he picked up his Roa, so that's totally fine then for Brand. That's actually a great trade for Brand. Good, well played.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that there's another good pull there. Wow.
Yeah. In comes Ari though. Ari actually trying to make something happen, but wow, okay. Down goes Yasuo. He gets hit by the passive from Zyra right there. Eric might die, but playing with fire right here are both Eric and as well as XP. Here comes Lissandra though. Nope, he's dead.
Yeah. You can tell one thing I really like, that all mid, all modes, even though they don't have a lot of the damage, now that they have items, they're so aggressive and they're so good at being aggressive and so coordinated, they're making RCS Magenta question everything.
Yeah, very good point. And oh my goodness, here comes Jax getting a good 3-man stun right there. He might go down, but the problem is they don't have sustained damage from RCS Magenta, and that's the problem with AP, is it's all burst. It's all about cooldowns. It's all about your actual spells. They have no sustained damage, so once they go through the rotation of their spells, they can just, everyone in all mid, all modes is just like alive with little bits of HP left, but there's nothing enough to whittle them down because all they have is their auto attacks. And one of the things I want to point out as well is actually Blitzcrank didn't go for the Rod of Ages. He actually delayed that to pick up the Aegis, which I think is a great call against an entirely AP team. Who cares about the Rod of Ages? And here we go. Mayhem going on right now. I really feel like that Aegis of the Legion is what kind of allowed a lot of his team to stay alive right there. It's so brutal against a full AP team.
Yeah, now they can get this first tower. It definitely allows them, as you see, Jax is really low. It allows Jax and Yasuo to be even more aggressive, and that's what they need. They need to be in the fight. They need to be doing all the damage right in the middle of the map there, and they don't want to worry about the wombo damage as much. You can see the Fnatic symbol coming out from Blitzcrank there. It's repping the team.
Yeah, he definitely likes Fnatic there. Who I believe they're playing tomorrow, I believe is when everything's playing. I'm not sure exactly, but that was the pull. Oh, actually, it pulled Brand into the Event Horizon. Oh my goodness, a bit of miscommunication. Here's the engage. Ari with the ult forward. There's the Zyra ultimate, and here we go. This is what we were talking about. In comes Ari. She's able to dodge the Syndra stun, but she does take a bunch of damage right there, unfortunately. I believe that was actually the ult coming in on her. No, don't use the ult before, excuse me, I apologize. The E stun knockback there coming in, but everybody is still alive for RCS Magenta right now. Let's see what they can do. No minions though, unfortunately. Oh, there's the hook, it actually lands! Oh my god, under turret is the Syndra, and she gets stunned up. Fortunately for her, she did not attack, so there was no turret aggro on her whatsoever. If there was, she would have gone down.
And this is what we see too. I mean, you only see 1 Rod of Ages over on all mid, all modes right now, but 3 of them finally came out for RCS Magenta. They have the tankiness they need, and a 4th one will probably come out on Zyra. I mean, Ari's the only one who hasn't really built that much tankiness.
Oh no, and there's the engage. Event Horizon lands on Zyra, and this is going to be so rough. There's the jump from Jax. Oh my goodness, can they land the snowball? Just barely out of range of Buster Draco, or he would have gone down right there. And here comes Yasuo dashing through the minions. The jump from Jax does not pick up the stun, and Jax is going to go down to the turret there. Well played by Ari and Lissandra, picking themselves up a kill. Oh, good Q there from Yasuo there. Big damage.
I was almost thinking he was actually going to go in and finish it off with the ult there. He probably could have, but it would have been a little bit risky.
Yeah, I believe he might have actually been out of range at that point, because he did walk back immediately after, but behind the door, picking up the kill right there. Doesn't need that Rod of Ages to do some damage. He's just going for that Aegis and to turn it into a Locket as soon as possible. And actually a Locket coming up from Lissandra, which, to be honest, I feel like is not the best use of her money. I really feel like they have to kind of invest more in just actual pure damage at this point. You've already got the Rod of Ages, you don't need that MMR, or the MR, excuse me, not the MMR. But Brand gonna go down as well. No, excuse me, he flashes. Well played by Brand to get out of there. Ari's ult is down as well, and this is gonna be really tricky to try and hold this wave, especially with the zoning from the Event Horizon. And that Blitzcrank coming in, lands the pull, lands the bop. Down goes Brand. And Ari goes down as well with a nice ball there from Syndra. They're going to take out this turret. There's the jump from Jax as well, the stun onto Lissandra. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. I really feel like the Locket there is really not what's going to save your life and help your team out. I would have probably rather seen her go for the Abyssal Scepter to get more damage for her team, because of the fact that Blitzcrank, of course, has that Aegis built so early. You need to shred that MR for your team.
Yeah, then this is exactly what happens with all mid-all modes. They finally get to the inhib. Ooh. Once they finally get to the inhib, now they're able, like, they're making them come out 1 and 2.
Great Brand ultimate after he follows up on the dash. This time he was able to escape properly, dodges the pull, but there's the stun coming from Jax. Charm just barely misses. There's the follow-up from Rare Candy. Rare Candy's going ham. He has just enough of a shield. Are they going to get it? Yes, they do with the combination of Roast Pigeon, but of course, Rare Candy does go down, doesn't land the counter spell. Roast Pigeon probably will go down here. Ari kind of just walking away? I'm not sure. She's probably just waiting for the last hit. Yeah, there it is. Oh no, they're actually not able to get it just yet. Here he goes with the counter. He lands it on 3 of them. Oh my god, Lissandra popping the ultimate. Roast Pigeon still alive. Absolutely ridiculous. The ult from Blitzcrank actually, I don't believe, landed on Buster Draco right there. Lands the pushback, does Syndra, but they have to back off for now.
Yeah, I mean, all mid-all modes with that aggressive playstyle just going in, they might be able to go finish. There it is. There's
behind the door, and he does land it. Gets the bop on Lissandra. He is more than content to do that, to go back and buy. Let's see if Syndra can actually make the play on Ari. No, she pops her ult to keep herself safe. Eric185 gonna go down there. Zyra picking up the kill, gets the shutdown. Wow, what a game so far. All mid-all modes, like you mentioned, once they have the actual power advantage, they just start going ham. And oh my goodness, actually Blitzcrank went into Banner of Command.
Wow. So now even more slows coming. Oh, he's going to get probably that super minion going, and it's going to just be devastating. They can really do anything they want at this point. Like you said, they can just keep going ham. They can go in, especially with them being so... Wow. Nice engage.
Ooh, flash away. There goes Annie to keep herself alive. But yeah, the more that I'm thinking about it, the Banner of Command is actually a brilliant idea right now, because when you promote that minion, the minion doesn't take magic damage, and all they have is magic damage. So they're not going to be able to kill that minion. It's just not going to die. All they can do is auto attack it. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I'm excited to see this yoked up Banner of Command minion come into play.
Yeah, it's a true super minion. That's what an actual super minion is right there. It's not going to be able to do anything to it.
Wow, this is... Oh my goodness, there's the fallout from Jax. Does not land the counter spell, or the counter strike, excuse me, though. There's the ball. Oh, they do land it on Brand. In goes Rare Candy, and the triple knockup. Oh my god, the two-man ultimate, and he's able to escape. Dashes back into the Zyra ultimate. Oh no, Rare Candy too aggressive on that one. But a great play beforehand. Ghost Pigeon with the dive. Bop up from behind the door. Does land the pullback, and Buster Draco might go down. The Syndra ultimate doesn't do too much damage because he's stacking so much MR, so that actually did probably save his life right there. That was ragged on him for the Aegis before, and actually did probably save his life. But here we go. See if they can land the stun on the back. They missed the stun, but they're just pushing down these objectives right now. The Event Horizon just barely missing Lissandra. Lissandra and Zyra being zoned out. In comes Blitzcrank for the push. Actually follows up on her Glacial Advance there, or whatever the heck it's called there. I know they do get the knockback, they do get the bop, but oh, yeah, with the pull, beautiful play by behind the door. You bop up, then you land the pull. Skill shots are way easier to hit when they can't move. And let's see if they can end this game right here. Brand does go down with a monster combo from What Is a Wolf. He's had enough time to stack up a lot of his spells. Tons of AP built up over this. There's the pull onto Annie. Navy might go down. Good Zonya's just in time. They're not going to be able to get it, but the Event Horizon, oh my god, perfectly placed right on the outside, and Ari is going to go down, and this will be game all mid, all modes, finishing things off in style to become our finals champions yet again. Well played.
17 minutes in, you can tell it's even that last big fight there. I mean, there was 4 of them against the 3, you know, Blitz, Syndra, and Veigar, and most of them are about half health, and you can tell they just know how to focus, they know how to stack their CC, they know how to position, and all of that coordinated together made it so that RCS Magenta just couldn't do anything, even though they still had 4 people against the 3. It's just... their communication and their synergy is absolutely amazing.
You're absolutely correct. And they really just know what they're doing. They just have done this so many times before. They've seen all these scenarios before. They've been like, oh, well, what do I build in this situation? What do I build in this situation? Where a lot of these people, me included, we don't spam ARAMs like these guys do, so we're not used to some similar situations where we're like, ooh, what do I pick in this team comp when we have this and they have that? What should I do? Where all mid all modes is like, oh yeah, we do this. We have like plan A, B, and C, where a lot of people are like just kind of coming up with a plan on the fly. So it just proves that there is strategy behind these ARAM maps. Like a lot of people are just like, oh, it only matters like what you get what picks you get in pick and ban and stuff like that. But even though, of course, it was definitely the pick and ban was favored toward all mid all modes, they just know how to play no matter what they get, and they've just kind of developed strategies for every situation they find themselves in. And it's really, really impressive to watch because, like we mentioned, RCS Magenta really didn't do much wrong there. They played a really solid game. They just got abused by a team that's strategical masterminds.
I definitely think there was a couple things they could do. They did get a little bit on a bad advantage there with having an all AP mage team. They didn't really have any tanks to help them out. So I mean, the diversity definitely didn't help them, but they definitely did a good job trying to do everything that they could with what they had.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what I was kind of talking about before, is I really feel like even though they definitely got the short end of the stick, RCS Magenta that is, with their team comp, I feel like there's tiny adjustments you can make with how you play, as well as what items you purchase in order to kind of cover those weaknesses and fill those gaps. Because in the ARAM maps, you're not getting to choose your team comp. You really have to kind of just fill the holes with whatever you have. You might not have duct tape, you might not have a cork, but you know what I mean? You got to fill it with your thumb. Plug that hole with your thumb. Whatever you can do, is like I was saying before, you know what? In this situation, maybe turn Lysandra into the tank. She did get the Locket of the Iron Solari, which, like I said, that's cool. She turned into the tank. But really, I feel like in that moment, the Aegis, the Locket, the MR Aura is really not doing that much for your team. Sure, it's helping against Syndra damage and Vigard damage, but the main problem your team is facing is getting pulled and CC'd and killed immediately, and having that Aura is not going to help too much for that. I would have loved to see Lysandra possibly pick up a Zhonya's, because what that allows Lysandra to do is use her ult on somebody else, use it offensively. So when she goes in or gets pulled or whatever the case may be, she can Zhonya's after she ults somebody else. So instead of using her ult on herself and just slowing people, she can lock down somebody else, for example, the Vigar, the Syndra, so her team can land that wombo combo on top of that. I really feel like with a champion like Lysandra, Zhonya's opens you up a lot more. Although the Aegis does really help you, the Locket helps out with that active, with that aura, with the tankiness, I feel like you have to go for those playmaking abilities in this scenario because your team just doesn't have playmakers with this comp, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, you're absolutely right. The stasis would have been helped, especially with a lot of the CC they had. They had a lot of opportunities to get that out, and it was a little unfortunate to see some of the people who built Catalyst also built the Chalice as well, and that really kind of negates some of the gold that you spend on there, because they could have instead just finished out the Rod of Ages instead of wasting the time, and they could have got stacks on it instead of just getting the Chalice. And that's one of those things you really got to think about, because itemizing is seriously probably the most important thing I would say in ARAM.
I completely